Total Drama
Reboot.
Island Reboot.
Yeah, we're back doing Total Drama, and as you can very well see, it's not just me and Tyler this time. We have Vex with us.
Yeah, you got me today.
Yep.
In the midst of chaos and RSV. Woo!
Yeah.
Vex.
Go ahead.
Also, for clarity for our audience, we're doing both seasons of the reboot, so it's seasons 1 and 2. If you have not seen season 2, I'd recommend going to watch the second season of the reboot, and then you can come back here because I don't want you getting spoiled. Once this whole thing is done, I'll probably put a timestamp in the comments.
Yeah, because to give clarity, and I did put this as like my very first, like one of my first notes for season 2 is that all episodes of the reboot, including seasons 1 and 2, are on BBC iPlayer. So BBC got something right for once.
It's a shocker. The Brits did something right. They got that, and they got One Piece.
Yeah, and we got One Piece. We got the One Piece anime. We got a new comment. Sid. When will we were just talking about that before we went live. When we were talking about that when we wrapped up season 2. We don't know when season 3 is coming.
Yeah, it's interesting because they're very clearly like still a very popular show, judging by how well this has been doing. And it makes sense. Honestly, people are yearning for something that's nostalgic but still fresh. So, I mean, season 3's got to happen at this point.
Yeah, and also as well as like someone who has just very much this is my first exposure with the Total Drama franchise. Well, obviously the reboot is like all of our exposure first time to the reboot, but yeah, it does seem like for me personally, this has got to be like one of the more well done reboots in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely got to agree. Like, it definitely feels like, this reboot, like, as much as the drought killed us, like, as someone who experienced the drought between the Redonkulous race and the reboot, I feel like it was necessary because, with this reboot, enough time has passed, and therefore new stereotypes could arise, and they could pull inspiration from that. Because by Pocket Tail Island, they were running pretty dry. I mean,
Oh, absolutely. But now that you've got like Gen C and Gen Alpha stereotypes that you can make fun of now, it's they're just like dying to be like, oh, okay, we can put them in this situation. But I think one of the big changes about this reboot, it's a big one. It's Chris's voice.
Yes. Chris McLean is no longer voiced by Christian Potenza due to some hot water he got into. Now he's voiced by showrunner, executive producer Terry McGurran, who voiced Dawn in the Redonkulous race.
Yeah, and I've got a comment with what Alicia said in the comments that it's really unfortunate it changed Chris's voice, but actually it's very ironic because Vex has stated that they don't like Dawn in the Redonkulous race, and is kind of ironic that now the same person is voicing Chris, and you actually really warmed to the voice really quickly.
Yeah, no, he did a good job of replacing the original voice actor. You know, I genuinely don't like the race season at all. I think it's the weakest season, other than the curse that shall not be named that was made. That was just like the writer's poorly disguised fetish. But I genuinely feel like they did as good of a job as they possibly could replacing such a prolific voice and put their own little spin on it rather well. I will say it took a couple episodes for me to kind of get into, like the flow and inflection, because I was so used to having pretty much grown up with the original series to, kind of dive in and accept it. But once I got to there, I'm like, oh, they're not doing bad. Oh, they actually did really fucking good,
Yeah.
I will say, like, you also didn't mind this particular version of Chris.
Yes. Fine. I'm gonna say it now. After all the bullshit I had to put with Chris from season 1 to Pocketail Island, I was just like, am I? Because there was not many points where I went, "Oh, fuck you, Chris," and I'm just there thinking, like, have I become numb to him?
Well, you can only commit so many war crimes before you become numb to it, and I think he's just like, what can I even do at this point? Like,
yeah. But I feel like as well with the reboot, they really toned down. I mean, he's still psychotic. I'm not. There's still moments where it's like, oh, Chris, what the hell? But at the same time, I feel like the writers of the reboot, since they brought him out, like maybe we should like tone down his psychotic nature. Because when it got to Pocketail, it was getting like, okay, this is beyond like jumping the shark and then shooting it in the balls.
Yeah, no, literally, like there was so many. He is like the most infamous person on the Villains Wiki. Like if you go and look at what all he's done, he is in at least the top 5. Right below Griffith, I figure.
Oh my god! Wait! Does that mean he's a more infamous figure than like Johan from Monster and Eisen from Bleach?
He's up there. I would say he'd be above Eisen, maybe below Johan.
Oh my god, that would be like insane to like just take all the most infamous characters on the Villains Wiki and then just put them in like how we feel as a tier list.
Honestly, that wouldn't be a bad video at some point.
Yeah. But I think since we've gave our overall impressions on the series, might as well just start diving into like the episodes themselves. Like obviously with episode 1, it's basically meet the new cast, and you had an instant favorite in this series, Vex. Scary girl. Yeah, we gotta bring her up first. Yeah, Scary Girl is like the stereotypical, like, I'm psychotic, but I'm gonna play it like really, really sweet and cutesy. I mean, yeah. I've got to ask you, like, what did you find so fascinating about her?
Listen. I don't know if my partner's watching this right now, so I'm gonna play this safe and sane for just a moment. I have a type, and it is very much like the alt aesthetic plus yandere, okay? And the more psychotic, the better. But there is a limit. I do not want Yuno Gasai as a partner, okay?
Oh god. Oh god.
That is like the hard no, get the fuck away from me. And Scary Girl is just right above that. It's in the danger territory of like they might kill me, but I'm at least going out with like a sweet release.
Well, anyway, at least you've got someone else who likes Scary Girl, because I've just seen the comment come in. I actually like Scary Girl. Well, there you go, Alicia.
See, I'm not alone in this. I'm not dying on this hill alone, Luke.
Okay. But yeah. I will say, going through all the cast for this reboot, because it's the same cast for both seasons, I've got to say, my 2 favorites were Damien and Bowie. Bowie, just because he was so like, I am just me, and just seeing his relationship develop with Raj throughout the series, like that was just like one of the more wholesome, positive relationships. Probably, I would say up there with like the Goths from the Redonkulous Raves. Say what you want about the Redonkulous Raves, the Goths were a great couple.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah. But Damien, oh my god, Damien was like my spirit animal, because Damien was just like me, except if I was on the show. Like he's a character that's never seen total drama before, but he was there to make a audition tape, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna get $1 million," and then he winds up on the eye. And he's like, "Where's that million?" And he's like, "We don't just give out the $1 million." And just seeing him like just go through all the bullshit and say all the things that I was saying about Chris and you, I was just like, yes, Damien, they finally got someone that I can relate to.
God, yeah. Like, there's so much in this season that was like, I love that we had like a first time I'd never seen the show character. I love that we had like a techie who's there just playing the fucking the role of like the white hat hacker here, fucking right back with Chris. I love that we had the action star role coming back to like the point of like, I lied, I don't even do my own stunts, and then eventually something happens there between seasons, and I'm like, oh, they've even developed the characters between seasons that are coming back, which is really cool, because you don't really see that when they come back. They just kind of continue being themselves and don't really get any actual character development. They just continue their storylines, but like we actually got in universe, character development, which is really cool. I like the fact that we had like a diet Shaggy. But like out of all the cast,
wait. Weren't you saying you didn't like Z?
I did not like him as a character, but I like that we are still playing that trope in 2024.
Oh, okay, all right. Also, like, yeah, Alicia, I really love Bowie. He's got motivation. Yeah, Bowie kind of honestly reminded me of like a more flamboyant Alejandro, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I love that we have like gay representation in this season. That was really surprising, honestly.
Yeah. Even though some people online will be like, stereotypical, make the gay the villain, and listen, Vex is
Hi, I'm the evil gay.
is the evil gay. So hey, we've got the approval of a gay here for the evil gay.
Yeah,
damn right.
Yeah, not to mention, I would not really say that Bowie is a villain, like, because
you do
technically,
what you gotta do to win the competition. Like, fuck that shit.
But technically, he's on the villains wiki, so we have to count him.
Aren't they all technically on the villains wiki?
But like the way I see it is that like dude's just like competitive. Like he said from the start he came for the crown, and that's what he's doing. And not to mention, like, honestly, like, Bowie's almost like, weirdly enough, I think he's like a kind of reminds me of Duncan in a sense. But hear me out. Like, when I say that, he's like, yeah, he does villainous things, but he also opposes other villains. Like how, like, Duncan would go against, like, Justin or Alejandro and stuff like that. Like how Bowie was kind of villainous, but, like, he'd be feuding with other villains like Julia or MK.
Yeah. Also, as well, thank you, Alicia. As someone who is LGBT, Bowie is a well-represented gay character. I didn't find him annoying or disrespectful, in my opinion. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you.
Yeah,
it's just because I've seen it recently where people are like,
can't make the villain gay, and I'm like, yeah, not every gay person is 100% good. Like, there's a spectrum of good and evil in everybody.
Yeah, and anybody who's a fan of Doctor Stone season 4, you are gonna have like the evil gays in there. You know who I'm talking about. And anybody who says like, oh no, they're not gay. No, they are like.
If those two ain't clapping cheeks, I don't know what the reality is anymore.
I mean, there's literally a scene where one of them strokes the lips of another one of them with their thumb. If that's not a sign like we are banging each other, I don't know what is.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah. Now there is one character here who I feel like this character was like the embodiment of like all my rage of like what I feel for Chris, and it's Chase. It is Chase, who basically has a show in the universe that rips off Total Drama, and he did something to his girlfriend, who's also a contestant. So yeah, we have the arguing couple. But Emma is totally justified in why she broke up with Chase, because Chase put her life in danger and he won't apologize for it.
Yeah, so the whole thing with Emma and Chase is that Chase is kind of like your typical like prank YouTuber who like lives in a hype house with two of his friends, and like for a prank, Chase cut the brakes on Emma's car, which caused her to crash into a pet store.
Yeah, and Chase doesn't see anything
on YouTube, honestly.
Yeah. So I was just like there most of the time, just be like, Chase, how can you not see what you have done is wrong?
Well, that's probably because he's like meant to be like a parody of those kind of like douchey internet personalities.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the ones who think like, hey, how's this for a prank? We're gonna steal an old lady's dog. I'm not even kidding. Someone actually did that as a prank.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that type of content to begin with. So like, he was one of my least favorite characters of the season.
Yeah, probably my least favorite, with the exception of one other, Ripper.
Listen, it's a staple in Canadian cartoons to have the farting character, the farting episode. So I was used to that.
Yeah, I feel like Ripper, like what you said, Vex, when we were watching, took all the worst aspects of Owen and multiplied them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like I hate that there is a counter floating around for the number of farts that have been let out during the Total Drama franchise. There is an actual person that counts them, and by character.
Really?
Yes, it was on Reddit.
Oh my God.
One point. I could not find the post before we were going live. That's one thing I was looking for while I was digging a monster out of the fucking fridge. Because I literally just woke up. I had planned to get up like 2-3 hours ago. I'm just like, no, my body's fucking tired because I'm sick.
I'm sorry I had to get you out and you're sick for this.
It's fine. I have shit I gotta do today anyway, so I'm like, well, I can film this and then I can go and do that.
Okay.
But
all right.
Yeah, no, like there was a counter floating around Reddit. Next to Owen, Ripper is second, obviously. And that they have like a disclaimer in there. These farts are from the Baby spinoff.
Oh God.
For Owen.
Yeah. Well, for one last time for a while, Tyler, we have to do the recurring joke. Are we going to be watching the Baby show?
No.
I just had to bring it up again. It's a staple.
I genuinely do not understand why that even was a thing, other than like the writers wanted to fucking fetishize like the characters even.
Apparently, it was more so of like a network thing, like Cartoon Network wanted it or some shit like that.
That's even worse, honestly.
Yeah, didn't Chris's original voice actor even promote the baby show at one point?
Yeah, because because there was this one fan project back in like 2020, 2021 called
Yes, I remember.
Total Drama Reunion, by Blue Studios, and it was it got the big C&D from Fresh TV, and then Christian Potenza is like, "Hey campers, I'm Christian Potenza. Total Drama Rama. If you want your Total Drama fix, watch Total Drama Rama. It's pretty damn good."
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, and also Alicia, Total Drama is so uncomfy. I can believe it just by watching the intro of how uncomfy it is.
I've seen clips of it on Reddit, and like this is like a cross between Total Drama and Teen Titans Go, but there's so much worse. Because like you can tell that they went somewhere in the fucking back of like a Diddy room and just like, how the hell can we make this as like disgusting as possible? And I just hated it. Everything I've seen out of it is just disgusting. I will say I've used like a couple of the GIFs on Twitter just to troll people, but like that's as far as I've ever gone into it.
Okay. Also, hi, Black Disney Princess. Thank you for dropping by.
Oh man, like it's nice having a chat on the StreamYard. Like,
yeah. What I mean, it's live on my channel, and I did promote. I guess, and I did put it on the Control Chaos Twitter that we were going live as well. So yeah. Now. Granted, as much as I dislike Chase and Ripper, the fact that they were the two in the challenge at the beginning and got beaten on, that was just like, oh, goody.
Oh, yeah. And in... I feel like we need to talk about the fact that Ripper has a criminal record.
Really?
Yeah, in the first episode. He got a criminal record because he took a crap in an old lady's purse.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right. Oh god, how much more disgusting can one character get?
Listen, it all depends on what the old lady did first, honestly. Like sometimes old people just need to expire.
But yeah, so the teams for this series are the frogs of death and the ferocious trouts. So I don't know how you guys feel about those names.
I mean, they're on par with everything else Total Drama related.
Fair enough. Yeah, and also as well, we have the first challenge, which is a blindfold challenge.
Yep.
Were you going to say something, Tyler?
Yeah. Some highlights during this challenge were the fact that one of... Oh yeah, forgot to talk about the hockey bros. One of the hockey bros, Wayne. The hockey bros, Wayne and Raj, are basically like if Katie and Sadie were done right.
Yeah, I can believe that. Rocket dude.
But Wayne got his head stuck in a beehive. And he and Nichelle, who's an action star who doesn't do her own stunts, got stung by bees. Ripper flashed his ass.
Yes, a lot. He did flash his ass a lot, and Damien pointed it out. You cannot put that on TV. Yes, they can because the Total Drama, Damien.
Like literally. It
Yeah.
seems like that was an every episode occurrence. I genuinely question how many times that happened. I wish we would have counted it.
Yeah, we probably should have done it.
I'm not going back through to do that for the bit.
No.
We all. We also have Emma, who basically cost their team the challenge because she is very pissed at Chase for letting her breaks.
Yeah, rightfully so. She should be pissed at him.
Honestly, yeah, like.
But it's to the point where Chase lives in Emma's head rent free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which must really suck for people in that situation where it's like you want to get rid of this person, but they just keep popping up everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also as well, we get Emma saying that if she does win the million, she's going to donate 25% of the million to an animal hospital.
Even though she previously said half.
Yeah. So Emma's not exactly not exactly a saint herself.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got to talk about the rest of the characters. MK is a sarcastic kleptomaniac based on a character played by Aquafina and one of the Ocean's heist movies. We got Julia, the hippy dippy influencer.
Mm-hmm.
Who is essentially this reboot's version of Heather, if we're being honest.
Basically, we got Priya, who trained her whole life to be on Total Drama in case there was ever a reboot. Like when she was born, she bungee jumped from her own umbilical cord.
Okay, yeah, and I'm just there thinking because I was going to save that. I was going to save talking about Priya for later, but I'm just going to say it now. Like, how messed up are her parents?
Probably as messed up as a Revenge to Pacateo Chris.
Oh, probably you're not wrong there. I like to imagine that I'm trying to picture the backstory between Priya's parents, and I thought of like how their backstory would have gone. Like they wanted to get on Total Drama, but they weren't allowed because they were too old for it. They were too old by one. I like to think that Chris was just that much of a psychotic asshole that he didn't allow them on the show because they were too old by 1 hour. 1 hour. They were too old.
That seems perfectly in character for Chris.
Yes, and so that just screwed them. Like, right, we're gonna have a kid. They're gonna be on this show, and we're gonna train them so that they do win this show no matter what.
Honestly, it's just Chris. It's just Chris.
There's also Caleb, who his whole thing, at least in this season, is being handsome.
Yep, being handsome, even so handsome that even Chris finds him attractive, which, if you really think about it, that's kind of a bit problematic, considering how old is Caleb actually meant to be?
Anywhere from like 16, 17.
Yeah, and Chris finds him attractive. I'll let that sink in.
The state of Florida has asked us to.
Yeah.
The province
go ahead.
I guess it's more like the province of Toronto. Well, no, the province of Ontario has asked us to.
Yeah. And also as well, we have Axel, who is a zombie survival freak. Obviously no relation to Sean from Pockettail Island.
Zero goose egg.
So, but it's kind of funny because in her in her audition tape, there's actually a cardboard cutout of Sean as a zombie. So I guess in her mind, she saw Parkateo and thought like, "Oh, I'm gonna make the worst nightmare for him by making him a zombie."
We also have Millie, who is going on the show to write a book all about how her generation is a bunch of fuck ups.
I mean, is she wrong?
I'm a part of that presumed generation.
I mean, what generation? I mean, like, when were you born, Tyler?
2003.
2003. So, what generation would you be?
I'm Gen Z.
Gen Z. Oh, okay. All right. I mean, you're safe, Tyler. You're safe. I think she's going more for like her entire age group because you're older than this age group, so I don't think you would count in her eyes.
Fair enough. She honestly, like, Millie just gives like very condescending vibes throughout like her first bit of this first stint of the show.
Yeah, but it's gonna come back to bite her in the ass when we get to season 2.
It's gonna come back to bite her in the ass in this season.
Oh yeah, in this season as well.
We also, let's see, we talked about Z.
I think we talked about all of them now.
Yeah, I think that's everybody.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Oh, it's about to but anyways, the first challenge was won by the ferocious Trout, and the frogs get sent to elimination, where Caleb is the first boot.
Yeah, which shocks everyone because everyone was just like, "Oh, this guy is obviously gonna win."
Yeah, to the point where Z bets $20 that Caleb wins.
Oh wow, Z lost $20. That's gonna cost him a whole two packs of soda drinks because C's whole stint is that he lives on soda and nothing else.
And I can't relate. My bloodstream is pretty much just Red Bull.
Yeah, but it's revealed that Bowie was actually the one who masterminded Caleb's elimination.
I mean, you got to get rid of the handsome one first, otherwise it's just going to be problems like to Alejandro, right?
Yep. Yes. And the way to get eliminated this time is that a drone claps onto them like one of those crane machines and flies them out off the island.
I fucking love the elimination process this season.
Yes, it's probably what. This is why I feel like this is the one with the least like what the hell, Chris, because last time you had a toilet flush and then a catapult. This is just like, oh, it's grabbing onto your head and just letting you go from the island.
Do they even actually make it off the island though? This is Chris. What's to say that drone just isn't dunking them in the fucking lake?
Well, remember, Chris now has to abide by the laws.
Does he?
Not to mention, this is we're dealing with a new version of Chef who probably would not approve of that.
Yeah, because Chef is honestly toned down a lot in this seat. Like, honestly, he's kind of underplayed in the reboots, if we're being honest.
Yeah. I'll agree with that. Like, he went from like drill sergeant, like second in command, to like, oh shit, I don't want to go to jail too. You know?
I think it was like the 15-year time gap being away from Chris really helped open his eyes and feel like, yeah, maybe I should be a little bit more nicer.
Maybe I shouldn't enable Chris 100% of the time.
Yeah. So that was the introduction to the reboots. Pretty good introduction. Like, we got a look at all the characters, and we got a look at like Chris and Chef's new personalities.
Yeah.
Now with episode 2, this is probably, with the challenge in this episode, it's probably like the least like I would say, quote unquote, dangerous of the challenges because it's just basically dodgeball on a pirate ship with cabbages.
Yeah. Now, OG Total Drama, this would have just been fucking cannonballs. Let's be real here.
Yeah, absolutely. The sharks will be released right away.
Yup.
The sharks would have been in there from the start.
Yeah, but also as well with this episode, one of the highlights for me was just Axel beating on Ripper.
Yeah, like when assigning captains, Axel literally kicks Ripper overboard before the challenge even starts.
Yeah, which from what I recall was the reason why, because Axel is the one to get eliminated in this episode, and I believe that is one of the reasons why she got eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also as well, one of the interesting aspects of this episode is that we have the first properly disabled character in the form of C, because it's revealed that he has a metal prosthetic leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is nice. Another good representation there.
Yeah. No, like I wasn't expecting that at all, honestly. And like the second he's like, oh, okay, that's cool. And they don't, tropey it down. They just play it as it's another normal character, which I respect the hell out of here.
Yeah, they don't over exaggerate on it. It's just like, oh, Damien thinks that Sia's had his leg bitten off by the shark. And it's just like, oh, you've got a prosthetic leg, and they actually ask him about that, and he's like, I think the reason was that it was something like out so mundane that he was like, that's too boring. I want to make it like the most exciting thing ever.
Yeah, he tells Ripper and Damien that he went bungee jumping into piranha infested water. He told Ripper that he was launched from a catapult, but really, it's just how he was just born like that.
Yeah. And I mean, can you really blame him if you just went up to someone and be like, "Oh, how did that happen to your arm?" It's like, "Oh, I was born like that." I feel like some people will probably be like, would tell it just as it is, but some people will be like, that's a bit boring. I want to make this like the most exciting thing ever. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that's something I probably would do. Like if I had a lost limb, like, oh, how did you get that lost limb? I'd probably do it like how it was in Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. Well, I took this staff, put it into this altar, and got struck by lightning, and that's how I lost my arm. But yeah, so great representation for C to have the lost limb, and Damien, Damien got knocked off before the challenge was over, and Scary Girl had to save him from the shark, which I've got to say is one of the funniest moments, where it's just like the shark comes in, he screams, and it's just like, shark comes back in, I don't know why, but that cracks me up every time I watch that scene.
Yeah, it's especially because Scary Girl didn't save Damien for any moral reasons. She's just like, if the shark ate Damien, I would never get to hear him scream again.
And she doesn't like that. She doesn't like that. So, hey, thanks. If you want to get on Scary Girl's good sides, just scream a lot.
I mean, I can do that.
I honestly want to. Now just imagine you showing your partner Scary Girl and getting her impression.
I mean, I can do that. It's on Max. I have a Max account, so like,
Uh, one highlight I do want to bring up is Wayne actually showing a good amount of leadership. Like, he was able to lead his team to victory in this challenge.
Do you think he was actually the cap? Does it actually confirm like what positions on the hockey team Wayne and Raj actually were?
Wayne's the captain of their hockey team.
Okay, so that makes perfect sense. Yeah. And I do like Wayne and Rogers back and forth where the because part of the challenge is using bees, and they're just like there and they're just there talking about them as like, oh, we're gonna get syrup from bees, and then Bowie just comes out and says like, bees don't make syrup. That's all I came here to say. Like the confusing syrup with honey.
mm-hmm.
And I do laugh at that, but then C in a later episode doesn't even know where milk comes from. Which we'll get to that moment when we'll get to it.
Yeah. But yeah, Axel goes because she was a pretty crummy captain, and she'll just when the zombie apocalypse comes, she'll just leave everyone to die, I guess.
Well, if everyone includes Chris, then I think that's a blessing in disguise.
Anyways, episode 3. This episode's challenge is two members of each team one member of each team is trapped in like a giant glass cylinder that slowly fills up with water.
I'll be right back.
Okay, fair. Okay, that's great. Yeah, and also as well, I've got to talk about it, like Damien being like the one to like just be like, get me in that tank before he actually realizes like what is actually gonna happen. Because at this point, it only took him 2 episodes to realize, I want out. I don't want anything to do with this anymore. I don't want the million. I just want to get out of here. It only took him 2 episodes to turn into DJ from World Tour.
And then he's told that if he quits, he owes the show $1 million.
Yeah, which, how is that legal? How on earth is that legal?
Must not have read the fine print of the contract.
But no, seriously, I feel like that should have been like one of the things. I feel like Chef would have actually brought that up to Chris and be like, Chris, you do realize these kids don't have $1 million. Well, most of them. And then Chris would be like, Chef, shut up. I honestly would like to see a deleted scene of how the contract for each season is like written out.
That would be fun. But so then Damien's just like, okay, so if I can't quit, so the only way to get out is to be voted out. And like he doesn't like try to sabotage the team. He more so like
tries to sabotage himself than the team.
It's more like, hey, if we just so happen to lose, how about throwing my name in the ballot for elimination? You know, help me get away from this crazy island so I don't die.
Yeah. Which also as well, that's something I haven't brought up yet, but I really want to talk about. How is the island back? Because it got sunk at the end of Revenge of the Iron, not Revenge of the Iron, All Stars.
Good question. never gets answered.
Like if I met the producers, if I met Terry, that would be the question I'd be asking. Like, how is the island back? Yeah. So yeah. So the whole point of this challenge is that it's filling up with the glass container is filling up with toilet water, essentially, and everyone has to go around at various points of the island and try to figure out the code to let their teammate out.
It's more like they just have to complete an obstacle course to grab a piece of paper with a number on it and punch it into the keypad on the door of the cylinder.
Yeah. Which again, like I was saying before, the challenges in this season are like some of the more tamer well, in this season and in season 2, they're some of the more tamer challenges. Like this one isn't exactly like actually, I'll take it back about the pirate ship cannonball cabbage challenge. This one I feel like would be probably the most tame one.
I mean, you do have to worry about one of your fellow teammates drowning, but
yeah, but if you can get to them in time, they'll be all right.
Fair enough. Some other some highlights include Scary Girl having a confessional after Priya saying, "Who knows what Scary Girl's thinking?" And Scary Girl's just like, "If you're gonna hide a body, clap your hands. If you're gonna hide a body, clap your hands."
Yes. Yes, but my Scary Girl highlight is the fact that she is so strong that she can actually throw a bear.
Oh yeah, like she, like in the climbing wall, there were bears, and she just pulls one out and starts like doing what Hulk did to Loki in the first Avengers movie.
And what Hulk did to Thor in the Thor film. And now I could just pick. Oh my god. Okay, so we've played some games of riff tracks. That whole clip of Scary Girl beating on the bear, I could just put that in riff tracks and just have it be like Loki going, "Yes, that's how it feels." All right, but yeah, that was my Scary Girl highlight.
We also got Scary Girl nearly biting off Ripper's finger, which
would have been really good. And I've got a question. Like, was that meant to be like a reference of sorts to Home Alone?
I don't know.
Because you remember the bit in Home Alone where the wet bandits catch Kevin and Harry goes, "I'm going to bite off every one of his little fingers one at a time." So I think that was actually I'm not sure if that was an intentional reference or an intentional reference on that part.
Maybe, maybe not. We also get the reveal that Nichelle does not do her own stunts, and instead has a stunt double named Jerry.
Jerry, always with the Jerrys. But yeah, and this is isn't this the reason why she gets voted off, because she lied about doing her own stunts?
Not only did she lie about doing her own stunts, they also cost her the challenge because her team believed and thought she did her own stunts, which I thought that would have been common knowledge by this point.
Yeah. Because you'd figure some of them would be like, yeah, there's no way this girl is doing her own stunts. Like, because Nichelle in the universe is pretty famous, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a famous actress.
Yeah, so I think people like, especially Julia. Julia would have been like one of the first people to really know, like, yeah, guys, you know, she doesn't really do her own stunts. Yeah, and maybe Julia could have used that to her advantage.
Maybe.
I'm surprised. Now that I've mentioned that, I'm surprised Julia did not do that. Did not use that to her advantage at any point. The fact that she would be one of the few people who would know that Nichelle does not do her own stunts, and basically use that as blackmail.
Oh, we got into the blackmail. Nice.
No, I was talking about like, because we were talking about like how Nichelle doesn't do her own stunts, and everyone's just like, what? And we were just thinking like, but that would have been common knowledge considering Nichelle in the universe is a popular actress. And then I was thinking like, wait a minute, wouldn't Julia, because she's such an influencer and she would get like all this, or even Millie? Millie would know. Millie would be one of the other people who would know that Nichelle doesn't do her own stunts.
Right.
Yeah.
But then again, like a lot of big celebrities do their own stunts. So maybe it was just like, of course she's big. She does her own stunts.
Yeah. And I would have loved, now that I've mentioned that, I would have loved there to be like a reference to like, you know how Jackie Chan does all his own stunts and you see like the injuries he's accumulated over his career. I would have loved her to I would have loved it to just bring up like, okay, so you've crushed through the glass ceiling of a shopping mall, and her being like, yep, okay, prove it.
Yeah, like that would have been a nice touch.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, but Julia really could have used that to her advantage if because she probably would have known about that. But I digress. So yeah, Nichelle gets kicked off at the end of these challenges, and we were talking about while you're away, the Scary Girl highlight for this episode, Vex, beating up the bear.
And singing about how she's gonna hide a body.
Listen, everybody has those thoughts, okay? She's perfectly normal for that.
Yeah.
Well, also nearly biting off Ripper's finger.
Oh yeah.
I mean, would that have been a loss?
No,
probably not. Probably not. I mean,
it probably would taste like Cheeto dust.
I mean, hey, if he was any smart, he would have been like, oh wait, my finger's off. So does that mean I'm Frodo from Lord of the Rings or Zack from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
God, no, no,
anyways,
don't tarnish anything.
Anyways, on to episode 4. We got this challenge is a game of capture the flag, except with skulls.
Yeah, because they're on Skull Island. I mean, Total Drama Island.
Mm-hmm.
So
copyright-free island.
Yeah. So highlight for me in this episode, and I'm sure Fex will agree. Scary Girl on Jackhammer.
Yes, 100%. Like that was the funniest shit ever.
Yeah, and also her just being like, Damien, there you are.
I'm coming to kill you.
Oh,
and then Damien just screaming his freaking head off.
Yeah, and Scary Girl's comments, I know Damien is on my team, but his screams are so delicious. What's a girl to do? That I haven't looked it up, but I can just imagine now that there is like some psychotic fan art of just Scary Girl X Damien.
Oh, there has to be.
I'm actually gonna look that up.
I believe it's also in this episode where MK uses one of Julia's phones to listen in on everybody's confessionals.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I'm gonna send it to you, thanks. Because this has to be. There's two here. I'm gonna send it to both of you. So yeah, you keep talking while I get these.
Oh my god, I cannot believe this exists. But
We
I
also
also
see
can't.
MK going into the control room and controlling what barriers go up and down to give her team an advantage. We also have Ripper using Priya as a human shield.
Which, to be fair, considering she's spent all her life trained to be a total drama star, that shouldn't surprise her.
Yeah, right. Oh my god.
Yeah,
It's
I've just said
good. It's actually good artwork too.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to type in Damien X Scary Girl into Google, there you go.
We in this episode of trying to put words together.
Well, in this episode as well, we also have Chef. We also have like Chef scolding Ripper at the end of the challenge, and also Emma retrieving the skull only to be hit by a water bass that sends her rolling down a hill. So it's just like, we've got the skull. Nope. And then Chris, and then even though she lands painfully on the ground in front of Chris, she starts the skull in her hand, so that makes the Frogs of Death the winner.
Hilarious.
Oh, also, speaking of the frogs, we got the first bit of Raj and Bowie's romance.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But there was also one other moment I wanted to point out with this episode where MK. See, even MK knew that the shell wasn't doing her own stunts, because she says to Wayne and Raj, "Yeah, that's how TV works. None of it is real." Which is kind of ironic considering they're on a reality show.
Mhm.
And Raj believes that the shell stopped an alien invasion. But the shell stunts weren't real, so he becomes fearful about the aliens still coming. Because the shell's not there too.
Not a brain cell behind those eyes.
No. But he has the love of Bowie.
Yep.
Yeah, but because Fex was having so much fun with Scary Girl, Chris had to eliminate her. That is literally my note that I put. Chris got rid of Scary Girl because Fex was having too much fun.
Well, when Ripper got his marshmallow, he farted on it.
Yeah, but yeah, now you know why I hate Chris so much, Fex, because he won't let you have nice things.
Never.
Well, to be fair, looking at this from an out of universe perspective, I think it's fair to cut Scary Girl here, considering I feel like if she would have stayed,
she would have
longer
committed
than she
murder.
did, no,
Yeah.
her shtick would have gotten old.
Yeah, because as much fun as we have with Scary Girl, she is very one note.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that one note is attractive.
Yeah, and that's not me saying as a bad thing, because there are a lot of characters that are one note but can be can be entertaining. Duncan, yeah. Trying to think about
my favorite character in this season is Z. So
Dawn
Trent was one note.
Dawn from Revenge of the Island. She was one note, but she was a lot of fun.
B's one note was
B didn't have a note.
Yeah,
B had
a rest.
Yeah.
B's note was a fucking quarter rest. Music shit, because he didn't talk.
Yeah, and one of the only reasons that Scary Girl was on the island was so that she can meet a lot of people, know their names. So if she ever needs like an organ, she'll be like, hey, I'm going to come and take your organs away from you. And she won't even let the drone grab her. She has an umbrella that she opens up like Mary Poppins. Oh, God. So, yeah, that's the end of Scary Girl for this season. And this leads us into episode 5, where the farts get too much to the point that the title of the episode is Jurassic Fart. So the highlights for this episode is Damien just continuously trying to throw him off by creating badges of himself, being like, yeah, campaign for Damien's elimination.
Yep. It got to the point where Z covered himself in the buttons. Which kind of reminded me of Dave from Pocateo Island, but I don't want to think of Pocateo Island.
Oh no,
Dave.
don't. Did you mention the D word?
Oh shit! I mentioned Dave!
How dare you?
Oh, there's only one character, well, two, that you can mention for that season, Sean and Jasmine. They're the only ones you can mention. But also as well, like I said, this episode is just full of just the fart jokes because they're trying to, because they're also in this challenge. They're basically doing Jurassic Park with velociraptors. How the hell Chris brought velociraptors to the island is beyond comprehension. Like, can anybody explain that?
No.
No.
But oh, go ahead.
But yeah, basically the whole thing is the whole challenge is about trying to avoid the raptors by not farting because Chris and Chef served everyone baked beans.
Yeah, beans, the magical fruits. The more you eat, the more you toot. Yeah, and this episode really much as it's like really unrealistic, this episode with the raptors, it does show Julie's no sense of fear because she is vicious to the raptor for how it looks in this episode, to the point that doesn't she make the raptor cry?
Yeah, like Julia makes the raptor cry and run away.
And doesn't that get like a bajillion likes on, like, what social media does she use primarily? Is it said?
It's a knockoff Instagram,
which is just
it's just Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she gets like about a bajillion likes on Instagram because of the fact that she scares off the raptor. Which, hey, that'll work.
I mean, that's entirely fair, honestly. Like, if you are managing to scare off a fucking velociraptor, that's pretty badass.
Yeah, but another highlight for this episode is the way some of them get rid of the raptor by literally using the power of like the nuclear fart, which is the only way you can use the fart joke. You make it a nuclear fart, and Damien is the one that actually does that.
Yeah, because he saved everybody's lives by facing the raptor, shoving the leftover beans down its scaly gullet, causing it to fart into the stove, which causes the dining hall to explode.
Yeah. CJ Leader 10. Thanks for joining. For those that think Priya had plot armor, she really didn't, and her path was written pretty well. I don't know. I'm trying to. That is debatable. Like, does Priya have plot armor in this season?
In season 1, I'd say no. Season 2, I think it's just more of a case of her. She's just real. Well, that's a complaint for later. But
yeah. Back to this episode.
We also
go ahead.
This is also the start of Wayne trying to like coax Raj into coming out to him, which gotta say I'm not the biggest fan of.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, Raj needs to come out naturally. I feel like Wayne in this episode and until Bowie and Raj get together is like one of those people who are just like, we need this to happen because we need to show that we can be progressive.
yeah, like I'll say that Wayne's intentions are pure because he just wants to support his bro, which I commend him for that, but coming out is like taking a shit. You just gotta let it happen.
Yeah, just let it happen. Once it happens, and everyone's supportive of you, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Exactly. You just gotta let it happen, which may not be. Which I gotta admit, taking a dump as a analogy may not be the best one, but I don't care. I'm bi, so
yeah. Yeah, we're all on the LGBT spectrum in some way in here.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah. So after the whole explosion, Damien, this is what gives Damien his confidence of just being like, I'm here to win it now. I'm here to win it now. Only for him to get eliminated.
Yep, he saves everyone's lives just to get the boot, which honestly, I think it's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's kind of a kick in the pants because I was really starting to like Damien.
Yeah, and he gets eliminated just before you you even have a chance to like him.
Yeah, but hey, at least he'll have a good run in season 2, right? At least he'll have a good run in season 2, right? Anyways, moving on to episode 6, where this challenge is flinging people into It's like playing cornhole with catapults.
Yeah, what the hell, Chris? What the hell?
Here's the most dangerous, challenge of the season, probably.
Yeah, this has to be like the most dangerous bar none challenge, because not just for the fact that they're flinging people through catapults, but also as well they're flinging them into the path of a lightning storm.
and into holes with giant mutant crabs, bulls, and sharks swimming in tapioca pudding.
Yeah, but I will say one of the positives of this challenge is that Chase gets scared in this, so I'm just like, yes, suffer, Chase, suffer,
Yeah,
suffer for all you've done.
He gets so scared, he passes out, wakes back up just to pass out again.
Yes, and we all love that. We all love that. But my question for this episode, which I put down in my notes, was, okay, so we see this bird go into the path of the storm, get struck by lightning so powerful that it literally fries the bird into a turkey roast. And you're just there thinking, how powerful would a storm have to be to do that? So, I think if I remember, you were actually trying to figure out like how powerful a storm would have to be to do that, Tyler.
I think it's like a couple grams of TNT.
Wow. But one of the other highlights for this challenge, for this episode, was Damien and Bowie finally admitting their feelings to each other.
Raj and Bowie?
Raj and Bowie. Sorry, Raj and Bowie.
Yes, because while covered in tapioca pudding, Raj kisses Bowie, and Wayne was there to see it all.
The things you do for love.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly want to know, like, when they get back to civilization for this season, like some of their friends who haven't seen the season yet in the universe, like, so how did you two end up getting together? Well, that's quite the interesting story. We were thrown into a pit full of tapioca.
That would be a very interesting story. Also in this episode, we see Z get struck by lightning, but somehow get high off the lightning.
I guess it's the power of all that soda that he's been drinking. Oh, go ahead.
It's so powerful. It gives him 5 fingers.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm counting the thumb as a finger. It's a finger. Bite me.
It's not a finger. The thumb the thumb is not a finger.
It's a short, stubby finger.
It's not a finger. We're not having this debate.
Vex.
It's a finger.
No. Science determines it's not a finger.
Science can bite my shiny metal ass.
Oh God. Oh.
But anyway, for not being a team player and potentially seeing every other contestant pooping, MK gets the boot.
Yeah, and MK in the season, like her more standout moments do come in season 2.
Yeah.
I feel like most of like the people that get eliminated early on in this season, like they really do shine in season 2. Caleb being like the biggest example.
Like, quite literally, because he was the first boot. Like, you can't get less screen time than first boot.
Yeah, and nobody deserves the first boot unless you're really annoying, like Sadie and Katie. Yeah. But yeah, really not much else to say about this episode. So, can move on to episode 7.
It's merge time.
Yeah,
we're merging with 10 instead of first watch, and I thought they were gonna merge at 8 because that's like the cutoff point. But no,
but to be fair, this is the halfway point of the season.
Fair enough. Halfway point of the season. I meant like half of the cast.
Oh, half of the cast. Okay, yeah.
Because there's 16 contestants.
Yeah, and we also still have Wade totally pushing Raj to be with Bowie, even though again we should have it being more natural.
Yes. Wayne, quit being a gay poop pusher.
Yeah, and I did put it in here that I feel like the reason Wade is doing this as well is he totally is not wanting to be cancelled online. So he's being like, oh no, I'm progressive. Here, I'm supporting my best friend with his boyfriend. Here. Please don't cancel me.
That seems more like somebody trying to save face. And Wayne does not seem like that type of person. Like, a person would do that if they were actually homophobic, like fucking Yule and Disventure Camp. But this is not the time or place to be talking about that show.
Oh God.
I don't know. Vex, give me a homophobic person.
Elon Musk.
If Elon Musk tweeted out like, "Hey, check out my gay friend, Ron," that would be like, "Hey, I'm not homophobic. I have a gay friend."
It's literally the I can't be racist. I have a black friend card.
Yeah. I feel like Wayne is more just like trying to be a decent human being, and like, because he says that like he's worried that like Raj doesn't trust him to be supportive. So he's trying to be supportive. He's just going about it in probably the second worst way possible.
Yeah, that's fair. And also as well, we have Priya and Millie basically being BFFs and training in the woods to start off the episode. Which what's your opinion on the BFF between Priya and Millie?
It's
Eh.
nice.
It's okay.
Nothing more than nice, but nice nonetheless.
Nice nonetheless. Nice.
Um,
Certainly a better BFF relationship than Gwen and Courtney. Whatever
Yeah.
that was in that one season that will never be mentioned.
God.
But in this challenge, it's a scavenger hunt for cassowary eggs.
Yep, yeah. And the highlight, oh my god, one of my highlights for this episode was Z being forced to dress as a bird and the bird falling in love with him. Hey, which, hey, I guess Z's got some moves when it comes to
Wooing this
wooing,
game, I guess.
wooing,
The most
You-
destructive
Yeah,
bird
wooing
ever.
giant murder turkeys.
Thank you.
yeah.
See, if I learned anything from Far Cry 3, it's that cassowaries are cunts. Okay? Fuck those birds. Kill them. Eliminate them. Commit bird genocide. Okay?
Yeah,
Between them and geese, they need to be wiped off the face of the earth. I sound like Bird Hitler here.
Yeah. Which, hey, I'm gonna still say it. Swans are more deadlier than geese, especially when it comes to their chicks.
But that's protecting their young. Geese are just dicks for no reason. Like there was a moment here at the place I'm living at currently where I went to just go for a walk with Akiza because she had to go use the bathroom. She could not even go over to like the designated poop area. She literally just kept getting attacked by geese. So I had to literally put the leash down and chase the fucking geese away like a psychopath, okay? I look like an autistic person on crack cocaine.
Oh,
Because it is a fucking felony to punt a goose here. Okay, but like you can, just do just about any other thing to any other bird here besides a fucking eagle and a Canadian goose.
well, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because I was talking about swans, and you technically cannot harm the swans in this country for one reason.
Why?
Used to be the Queen, but now the King technically owns all the unmarked swans in England.
Fuck the monarchy.
But one thing in this episode that really just be like, seriously, we're doing this again, was when Ripper, he sees the giant big bird and he starts doing what Kevin in Ben 10 did in that episode with the sludge monster, where he's like, "Oh, this is a reference to this show. Do you remember that?" Ripper was doing this with Sesame Street, trying to figure out, "Oh, what's this big bird called from this other show that I'm familiar with?"
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, oh, okay, we're really doing this shit. All right.
Yeah, I was
Back to
just
TikTok for a minute.
yeah, but the other highlight about Ripper's character that we find out in this episode is that his dad dropped him, and when I heard that, I was like, that explains.
Yeah,
so
literally.
much.
Like that explains everything about the whole existence here, buddy.
Yeah. Why is everyone mad that I dropped a big bird? My dad used to drop me and my three brothers all the time. Two of us are fine. Which, oh my god, that implies that one of
them
his
isn't.
one of his siblings is either in a coma or dead.
Either way, neither of those would be a loss, given what we know about Ripper.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Another highlight is Julia teaming up with Chase, to try to get him voted off, by getting Chase and Emma to spend as much time together as possible to make Emma hate Chase so much that she goes to somebody else and says, "Let's vote off Chase."
Yeah,
Which
because
I gotta ask, why Chase? Why not Bowie, your arguably biggest competition? Why not Priya?
well,
But
hey,
Chase.
she's trying to sabotage the "we just got back together" couple that's gonna get broken up again because Chase, because of some stupid thing with a candy bar.
Yeah, basically, he tries winning Emma back by sharing a candy bar. He drops Emma's half of the candy bar in a cassowary's nest. It's like, oh, sorry about that. And she thinks he's saying sorry about cutting her brakes, which apparently one apology is just enough for Emma to be like, oh my god, I love you, Chase.
Let me hop on that dick.
Does this, like, I don't know how to say this without it sounding really like awkward, but does this like mean that Emma suffers from Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah, probably. It's
'Cause
the
if
only
that's-
explanation at this point.
If that's all it takes for her to get back with Chase, just I'm sorry, like that video in the Coon and Friends South Park episode where the DP oil guy is like, I'm sorry. We're sorry.
Sorry.
Which you'd think, oh my god, you'd figure that would have been something that they could have easily parodied with Chase, considering he's a YouTuber.
Oh god.
Which would have been funny, like a parody parodying a parody. Try saying that 3 times fast.
A parody parodying a parody.
But yeah, so the episode ends with Raj and Wayne getting eliminated because they suffer too much injury in this episode.
Yeah, like they got attacked by a cassowary and fell off a cliff. Meanwhile, Raj was coming out to Wayne while falling off the cliff.
Yeah, which if they hadn't have gone through that, it would be more than likely that Ripper probably would have gone eliminated in this episode because of the fact that he ditched C, his partner.
Either Ripper or Chase.
Yeah, probably one of those two, but I would have said Ripper.
Yeah,
and that's
it
it
would've
for
been
for our dear hockey bros. Moving on to episode 8 with the final 8.
Yeah, which we have a return of the wheel of disgustingness, or as it's known now, the wheel of vomit.
Yep, because this episode is basically like the brunch of disgustingness from season 1, where it's a multi-course meal to see who can keep their lunch down.
Yeah, but
this time, rainbows.
Rainbow, taste the rainbow, motherfucker. I had to get that out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you really blame me?
No.
Yeah, but we have one. Okay, Bowie, I love your character, but you do one of the most disgusting things in this episode.
What?
Roger's mouth guard. Putting Roger's mouth guard in his mouth.
I mean, to
it's
be
like,
fair, he spit it out just as quickly as he put it in.
Yeah, but it's still one of the most disgusting things.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, at least wash it before putting it in.
Yeah, no. They gotta swap spit here in a more disgusting way than just swapping spit.
Yeah.
How is this more disgusting than actual spit swapping?
Because it's like a mouth guard is full of whatever gunk and shit from sports too, like blood if they broke a tooth, all that other.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Because Raj has swallowed 3 teeth, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, oh my god, like just imagining, like, blech. So another point to take away from this episode is Chase being the biggest idiot of his biggest idiot in this episode by telling Emma he wasn't apologizing for the tires. All he had to do was just keep up the illusion, or just say, "Yeah, I was totally apologizing for the tires."
Absolutely.
But nope, he had to blab that it was about the candy bar.
Also, apparently, Emma doesn't like banana pudding.
I mean, why? Banana pudding's awesome. Banana pudding is good, but banana bread is even better.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. There are a few
Yeah.
things in this life better than banana bread. Oh,
Honestly.
very few.
Which, by the way, my mum does great banana bread. I'm gonna just point that out.
God damn it! Now you're making me hungry.
Yeah, no, literally, I just want fucking banana bread now. God damn it.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay, but Z throughout this challenge is doing surprisingly well for himself. Like on first watch, I thought Z was gonna win this until he was disgusted by learning of the origins of milk.
Oh yeah, this was the episode. I forgot. This was the episode where he's like, "Oh, milk. I've never had the substance before, but I've heard about it." Which I wanna talk to Chase's not Chase, C's parents and ask him and ask them did you ever feed C milk, or was he just, or did you just feed him soda from birth?
Maybe
I
it's like one
don't-
of those things where he's
His baby
young,
bottle
remember?
was full of Mountain Dew.
Probably, but it does seem like a little bit of a stretch for mind you, now that I think about it, this generation is the same type of generation who think what's that? What's that? Three-letter animal that stings a lot? Wasp.
Well, that can also be a bee.
Yeah. But 3-letter. But somebody would put wasp.
Yeah, I understand the point Luke's trying to make. Even if I think it's dumb, he's right.
Yeah, they're that dumb. Hey, this animal has 3 letters in its name. It stings. What is it? Wasp.
Yeah, well, this is the fucking brain rot generation that brought out Skibbity Toilet, okay?
Yeah,
So,
and it's the same generation who I am trying to figure out because just going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but it's the same type of generation that thinks slime is the new norm, and I'm just because we sell slime in my store all the time, and I'm just baffled. What do you find fascinating about slime?
The mushiness of it makes the gears
Yes.
turn in their head.
I guess, but it's just it just baffles me. And now I'm starting to sound like one of those really old parents who are like, "What is
you are the
Pokemon?"
boomer here. You are the boomer here, Luke.
Oh,
Welcome. Join me. Join me in being a boomer, Luke.
You
No,
You both are millennials.
Of course we are. Of course we are. But yeah, it's but now it's starting to sound like the parents I don't understand what this Power Rangers or Pokemon is all about. What do you find so fascinating about it? You just don't get it.
You won't get it.
Yeah. But yeah. See just not knowing where milk comes from and then just being disgusted by it. That is funny, but also kind of head scratching at the same time. Why would he be disgusted by something like that?
Humor. The fact that he's able to eat whatever was in this episode, but he's disgusted by milk.
Yeah, fair enough. But finally, in this episode, Ripper goes. Ripper finally goes.
After losing to Julia, at eating a 50-foot long tapeworm
Which
that is sentient.
Which fair enough. I probably would have been like, I'm done now. Yeah. But anyway, finally Ripper goes, so we got rid of one of my least favorite characters, which is a plus.
And he goes out getting a wedgie.
Which is
Would
more
there
than
have been another way for him to go out?
Nope.
Honestly.
Well, no, the only other way that would go out was if his whole pants just got ripped to shreds.
Please don't give them ideas for season 3 if he comes back.
Yeah.
But moving on to episode 9. Right now in the final 7, things are looking pretty interesting as Julia aligns with Priya and Millie, and Bowie and Emma align with Chase. So that leaves my man Z in the power position as both alliances offer him a position. He's like, okay.
Yeah, okay to both of them.
Yeah, and this causes the gears to start turning in Z's head after being dormant for I don't know how long those gears in his head have been dormant for.
The gears in his head have been dormant because they've been focused on soda, toilet, soda, toilet, soda, toilet.
Yeah, that's about how it goes.
Yeah. So this was one of the moments where I was like, to hell, Chris, because the whole challenge, the whole climax of the challenge takes place on Honey Mountain, which is appropriate considering it's literally a giant beehive. So that was like one of the moments that I went, to hell, Chris. Let's get you in the beehive. In more ways than one.
Unfortunately, that was not in the cards for Chris. What was in the cards for Emma was getting hit is hitting Chase with a fish.
Which, yes, he deserves that.
And can we talk about the moment that about Chase faking his death? Like,
no, you could talk about it, but I'm just like, no. Chase.
He's like, I never ate my broccoli. I fed it to the dog. That's why he farted so much.
Okay.
And he just goes, bleh. And they actually start digging graves for Emma and Chase until Z throws a salmon over.
Yeah.
And Priya and Millie are none the wiser as to why Z is helping out Emma and Chase. And they're like, "Oh, Z must be keeping up the illusion that he's not in an alliance with us." Z's actually really smart.
No, C's not smart. He's just C.
That's the right
Z
way to put
is
it.
the total drama equivalent of Jar Jar Binks. You think he's dumb, but he's actually an evil mastermind.
Yeah, well, what was originally meant to be an evil mastermind. I honestly want that to be like if someone did like a recreation of the Star Wars prequels, but make Jar Jar Binks to be out like what he was originally meant to be.
That would unironically make those movies a subversive masterpiece.
Right? That is giving Lucas too much credit.
Well, no, because apparently that was like meant to be the intention. Like Jar Jar Binks was meant to be like the antithesis to Yoda. Like Yoda is this really goofy puppet that turns out to be his ultimate Jedi master. Jar Jar Binks is this horrible CGI abomination that turns out to be the most powerful Sith Lord.
I mean, instead he just, helped inadvertently create the ultimate Sith.
Yeah. But also as well, it kind of does weirdly make sense because 2 Jedi in that film had trouble with a destroyer in the opening scene, and yet Jar Jar was able to beat one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as Obi-Wan says, in my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, going back to this episode, the biggest highlight for me in this episode was Bowie giving like the total boom line to Julia. Most of your followers are bots. Boom.
And then he gets his ass beat, and Julia wins immunity.
Yeah, but still, that was just like, nah. Because I can imagine that's what most bots are. That's what most followers are on like social media half the time, just bots.
But
I can hear you laughing, trying to hold your laugh effects.
That's 90% of social media, though. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah.
But at the elimination ceremony, Z unveils his ultimate plan, where he joined both alliances to bring them together into one big 7-person alliance to vote off Chris.
And oh my god, yes, let's vote off Chris. That would have been like, oh my god, that would have been like an interesting plot twist where Chris gets the boot. He has to go through all the challenges himself, and then gets booted off the island. And Chef takes over as the host for the rest of the season.
That would have been interesting.
I would pay so much money for someone to animate that.
Though unfortunately, Bowie asks Chris for a revote. The revote happens, and Z is eliminated. I would not want him to go out any other way.
Fair enough. Yeah, so Z gets eliminated here. Definitely one of the more standout-ish of the season.
I fucking love him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But now... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing. Like,
okay.
This is perfect.
Yeah. So now, moving on to episode 10, aka the standing on the pole for an ungodly amount of time episode. As everyone is just tasked with standing on a pole without any food or water, seeing how long you can survive, and the last person that is standing wins immunity. Which I've got to say as well, for a challenge is probably one of the more simpler ones, but one of the more effective ones, because this just allows Chris to just torment them throughout the episode by just being like, hey, we've got this gorgeous meal here. If you want it, you got to come off the pole.
Yeah, like we see him throw like entire like lumberjack breakfasts. And there was like some takeout. It's like $10,000.
Mm-hmm. And also as well, Emma, because she's so hangry, turns into Ripper in this episode.
Where she's gonna punch everybody.
That's the thing. That's the thing I put in this when I was picking up the Stockholm syndrome for Emma earlier. This is where I put that note for this episode. Is Emma bipolar or suffers from Stockholm syndrome?
One thing. So some highlights from for me. We saw Bowie take a dive because he found the phone MK used to spy on all the other contestants. And we see Raj give a confessional about how Bowie makes him feel like there's more to life than just hockey. And that is the cutest thing ever.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh. Spin off with Bowie and Raj.
I'd be so down for that. We also see Emma's crummy dance skills.
Yeah. And we also see that Chase is the most toxic of toxic people ever in the history of toxic.
Yep. Especially considering like his ideas of being selfless, or like him trying to like his idea of like taking off using a coat to soak up a puddle was by taking off Emma's jacket for a puddle Chase made.
Yep, but also as well, what makes him so toxic is that he recalls the time on their anniversary he got a star named after Emma, which at first you think is cute until Emma points out what he actually named it.
Chase's girlfriend.
Yeah, which disgusts everyone, including Chris and Chef. Now, that's why I call Chase the most toxic of toxic people ever. Because when Chris is agreeing that something is messed up,
you fucked up.
You know you fucked up. Where Chris goes like, dude, not cool. It's like, wait, what? No. Is this the same Chris? The one who would literally put babies in danger for a challenge is saying that calling a star Chase's girlfriend is the most disgusting thing ever?
But what stuck out to me most in Chase. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if you were going to say the same point, but Chase fires back by saying that part 2 of the plan was to legally change Emma's name to Chase's girlfriend.
Which would have been worse.
Yeah. And probably super illegal.
There was also the time where Chase helped a kitten down from a tree by cutting down the tree, which landed on Emma's mom.
Chase, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, I think out of all of the fucking cast, Chase is the most insufferable.
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly,
absolutely.
I find him entertaining in like I like seeing like this toxic piece of shit get the snot beat out of him.
Yeah, like that's fair, but like out of the entire Total Drama cast, I think he's top 5 for worst people to ever grace the screen.
I would say he's top 2. I think he oh my god, I can't decide now. Is he worse than Chris? Is Chase worse than Chris?
No.
In this season, I feel like in this season,
yes. Overall, fuck no.
Overall, fuck. But congratulations, Chris. We found someone in this season that's worse than you. That is an achievement.
Well, lucky for you, Chase actually goes in this episode.
Rightfully so.
Everybody except Emma off their polls because pizza was up for grabs.
Which the only thing I'll say about Chase is that I probably would have bailed at that point.
I would have bailed for the $10,000.
Mm-hmm. Like $10,000 would be like a nice down payment on a house. Like,
yeah, but pizza.
You can buy a pizza.
You can buy a whole fucking Pizza Hut franchise for that.
But pizza is right there.
What's
better, one pizza or 1,000 pizzas?
Oh, don't make me. Well, it would depend. Is it one really good pizza compared to 1,000 really shitty ones?
Both pizzas are of equal. You can really decide the quality of the pizza for yourself if you decide to of frickin' Pizza Hut franchise.
Damn it. Okay, fair enough. But yeah,
But anyways,
Chase finally goes in this episode.
and he ain't got his pizza.
And really, after that point, and even after Emma finds out, like, after all the bullshit that Emma heard from him, they still get back together, only for them to be arguing again. Like, they are probably one of the worst couples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even
One
argue.
of the worst, if not the worst.
Yeah. So yeah. Now that we've got the rage inducing out of the way.
Episode 11.
Yeah, and again, me literally my first note, me and Chris agreeing about Emma. Like, him talking about Emma at the beginning of the episode in the recap, and I'm just there like, I can't believe, like, what is this feeling? Me and Chris agreeing on something? This does not compute. It does not compute in any way. Oh, I don't know how to feel about that uncomfortableness.
Though, going off of that, because Bowie voted for Chase, this puts a strain on his and Emma's alliance and their friendship.
And this is where Bowie has to pull Emma aside and say, Emma, he is a toxic individual.
Mm-hmm.
If you scrape dog shit off of your shoe, don't go back and step in it again.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I really don't know what is up with Emma half the time.
Honestly, neither do I. But anyways, in this episode, the challenge is each is taking selfies with the animals. Depending on the animal, each selfie will be worth a different point value depending on the animal. Person with the most points after the end of the time limit wins immunity. Bowie doesn't get jack shit in this episode. Like, for the most part, Bowie just gets the crud beat out of him by a goosedactyl.
Again, this must be residue from the toxic waste from the Revenge of the Island season.
Probably. Or I don't know, maybe leftovers from Boney Island.
Probably, more than likely as well. But also as well with this episode, this is where Bowie as well gets his hands on Millie's notebook that she's been writing about everyone, including secrets about her so-called BFF.
Ooh. He got some dirt.
Yeah, he's got some dirt.
Throughout the challenge, Emma does very well for herself. The point where she's actually going toe-to-toe with Julia.
Mm-hmm.
Until the very last moment where they tried to take a picture with the turtle, but Julia is the one to get that picture and win immunity.
Yeah, and after all of that, I do love like the nice callback to earlier on in the season where Julia gets the selfie with the raptor. And the raptor's just there, like, looking absolutely pissed at her being there, like, you.
Yeah,
that was a nice touch. But the person to go in this episode is Emma, which thank God we got rid of her.
Yeah, with and now she gets to go home to a boyfriend, which I
A
put quotes.
yeah, quotes. More like a toxic individual that needs to be put in prison for what he's done.
But there's no time to arrest Chase. We have episode 12.
Yep. Which takes place in a cave. In a cave.
But during this cave expedition, we have Priya and Millie dressing up like the Wonder Twins, and teaming up with Bowie to sabotage Julia.
Mm-hmm.
And
And the costumes are ridiculous.
they
I mean, are they trying to be like Wonder Woman-esque?
Honestly, they just remind me of the Wonder Twins.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. But also as well with this episode, the teams are the players are required to get as many tokens of Chris as possible, because where would the season of Total Drama be without Chris having a huge ego?
It wouldn't be a Total Drama season.
Yeah.
But the entire time, Bowie's trying to slow down Julia, and there's this one moment where Julia thinks that Priya and Millie got crushed by rocks, and she starts like celebrating, like I'm in the finals, I'm in the finals, and it was like, were you celebrating us getting crushed?
Yes, she was.
Damn right.
And that can only lead to one thing at the end of the episode. But before that, we have Bowie pulling out his trump card because of just how much BFFness Millie and Priya have. This where Bowie pulls out the notebook.
Yep.
The dreaded notebook.
Womp, womp, womp.
This breaking apart the friendship between Priya and Millie.
Yeah, because wasn't one of the things that Millie put in the notebook about how
how abusive Priya's parents are?
Yeah, and also how Priya didn't she say something about Priya herself?
I don't recall. Maybe she like called her like emotionally stunted, but
Yeah,
I don't believe.
maybe.
But before that, Bowie blindsides Julia in a vote, because if that vote would have gone to a tie, a winner would have been decided by who had more immunity wins, which that would have been Julia. But thankfully, Bowie voted for Julia, which caused one of my favorite exchanges in the season, where Julia's like, you, and Bowie's just like, me.
Yes. Which I do love as well, and it's very practical on Bowie's part, because now that he has broken up Millie and Priya, it's a clean, in his eyes, it should be a clean sweep for him to win the season.
Mm-hmm. Not quite, because we still have the final episode.
Yeah. Which is just a race to the finish line.
Well,
it's a little bit harder than that, but yeah.
Yeah. It starts off with each of the finalists being assigned helpers. Priya gets Damien, Millie gets Ripper, and Bowie gets Julia.
Which is funny that Bowie was just like, I voted off Julia, and now she's back again.
Yeah. So each pair has to build a raft out of trees, and then carry that raft to then sail across a lake, which Chris did not forget neglects to mention is a lava lake.
Yeah, which how does the tree's wood even survive lava?
I don't know. Maybe it's like some strong shit.
I mean, this is a island that was ravaged with nuclear waste at one point, so maybe they've evolved through that.
Maybe, fair enough.
Which they still don't survive all the way. It's just that they take a while to dissolve.
Yeah, and because this is the final, all the contestants that have been eliminated have been invited back, including Scary Girl. So we get Scary Girl for one more episode, and she is saying scary stuff all the time. Like, they should have filled those bowls with snakes.
Or hoping someone falls in the lava.
Which if she really was as psychotic as she was, she'd be like, "Hey, Chris, you want to go swimming in lava?"
I do.
You would have
I
thought.
want to see Chris swim in lava.
Yeah, but you would have thought Scary Girl would have been one of the ones to be like, "I'm gonna take over this show because Chris is being a bit too nice here. I want to see pain." But it eventually comes down to after the first challenge of getting across the lava lake, it comes down to Bowie and Priya.
Not before the two Priya and Millie make up by Millie explaining that she mainly wrote that book because of her own insecurities, and on the last page she reflected on all she wrote and canceled the project.
Which, to be fair, good on her.
Yep. Unfortunately, that's not going to save her now because now she's eliminated now, and she's a loser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, loser. So this is where it becomes. What, you're gonna say something?
You were singing "Loser Baby" from fucking Has Been Hotel. Respect.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But this is where we get to the actual race part of the challenge, where Priya and Bowie have to race up a mountain, get into turbo orbs, and then roll back down the mountain in these turbo orbs to the finish line.
Well, they have to get to the top of the mountain with goats.
Why goats? I have no idea.
And then when they get to the top, they have to drink a bucket of. They have to milk a mama goat and drink her milk.
Yeah, which, oh my god, can you imagine if C was in the final?
Yeah, that would be an automatic loss for my guy Z. But I've got to say this.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say this actually does come down to like one of like the closest finals in all of Total Drama.
Yeah, because they're falling down the mountain, they puke in their orbs, and then for some reason they pop the turbo orbs like balloons, even though I kind of thought they were made out of glass, but whatever. And our winner is Priya.
Well, the one person who had the most training turned out to be the winner.
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah,
I know.
Honestly, Bowie should have won. Bowie should have won because then that would have subverted the expectations of just being like, oh, she's had the most training, we know she's going to win this. But And this is like the first time in Total Drama history where we don't have like the alternative. So Priya is officially the winner.
Yep, she is the one and only winner of Total Drama Island 2023.
Yeah, I think I don't know why they decided not to do it, but I think it might have been the case of like it probably would get a bit too complicated about people debating like who was the winner, who's not the winner, blah blah blah.
Also saves some money on the animation.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the first season of the reboot. Really enjoyed this season. A lot more than I thought I was going to enjoy it.
Same here. I will say, I think this has like a really strong elimination order. It doesn't feel like, with the exception of maybe Ripper, that anybody like overstays their welcome or had potential that was squandered.
Yeah. And like we said earlier on, a lot of the early eliminations they do get the chance to shine in season 2.
Exactly. But speaking of season 2, let's talk about that right now.
Yep, because we have seen season 2, and we're 2 hours and 4 minutes in. So this is the point where we're going to be heavily spoilers about season 2.
Yes, if you have not watched season 2 of the reboot, watch season 2 of the reboot, and then come back if you wanna. Anyways, 3, 2, 1. Episode 1 of season 2 of the reboot.
So an interesting thing about this season is that the instead of Chris picking the teams for this season, Priya and Bowie, the two finalists from season 1, actually get to pick the teams themselves.
Yep, on Priya's team is Millie, Emma, Caleb, Damien, Axel, Z, and Nichelle. While with Bowie, he has the Hockey Bros, Julia, Chase, MK, Scary Girl, and Ripper. Priya's team is Team Ratface, while Bowie's team is Team Skunk Butt.
Which I've got to say, they had a missed opportunity for the name Rat Face. They really should just call it Rat Bag. You rat bags.
Honestly, I just think they're the worst team names.
Yeah, I only say that because it's rat bag is kind of an old term for like, oh, you punk kids. Actually, let me find that rat bag meaning. Yeah, it's a British slang. In British English, rat bag is a slang term used to describe someone who's unpleasant or horrible. Which would have actually fit.
Oh my god.
What?
That's just hilarious that you're trying to use British slang for a Canadian TV show.
I know. Well, they have British Canadian over there.
Boo!
But anyway, so the challenge for this episode, and speaking of English terms, the challenge for this episode is, and they do call it this in the actual episode, Chris calls it, it's Grandmother's Footsteps, which for anyone in America, that's red light, green light.
Yeah, or for anyone who's watched Squid Game.
Yeah. But I call it Grandmother's Footsteps. The show calls it Grandmother's Footsteps. It's Grandmother's Footsteps. Quite literally, since the opponent for this episode is Chef's grandma, which is something I did not expect to happen. And also, something to point out with this season is that, while season 1 didn't have many of them, season 2 is where we're going to be like, throw in all the cameos we can put in these episodes.
Yeah, speaking of Chef's grandma, apparently Chef's grandma was a pitcher in the women's baseball league.
Which I can imagine that being true.
Honestly, yeah. Like, that family is so scary in general because you got drill sergeant chef, you got pitcher that probably could commit murder with just that fucking pitch if they actually allowed it. And this was the OG Total Drama Island. Like, what's Chef's daddy like?
Chef's daddy is probably like I can imagine Chef's daddy being like in the fourth Karate Kid movie, that coach that school security guy that was just beating on everyone.
No, literally, I could see that.
Yeah. But one thing about this episode and season is that Scary Girl is no longer scary. She is now just Lauren. Lauren's her name, isn't it?
Yep, Lauren.
Yeah, so she's just Lauren, but ironically, she's more scary being normal than actual Scary Girl. Yeah, and unfortunately for Fex, Scary Girl is the first one to go.
Honestly, I understand. Like, she wasn't scary in the traditional sense. She was just terrifying for being normal.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So yeah, honestly, not really a lot to say about this episode. I mean, it was just pretty standard. It just felt like picking up where we left off from the end of season 1.
Oh God.
Which begs the question, how much time has passed between both seasons?
There literally can't be that much time passed because everybody looks the same other than Scary Girl. And
I would say maybe I want to say only a couple months.
Maybe.
Because it's currently the summertime. At least according to my inferences, because Priya said the reason why she's back is either go back to Total Drama or continue working her summer job at the Weenie Wagon.
You know what? Fair on Priya. So yeah, and also as well, we finally got in this episode the name for one of the interns, so now we don't have to keep referring to the interns as made up names. We got Sally the intern,
who was fired immediately and we never see again.
Yeah,
and all we see are the interns that don't have names, which I've given them. The girl is Sarah, the ginger is Colin, and the guy who looks like Gerald from Hey Arnold is Virgil.
Yeah. Fair enough. So yeah, Scary Girl gets eliminated first. And moving on to episode 15, which has Ripper being into Axel for some reason. I don't know what, because Ripper was very a bit misogynistic in season 1, and now all of a sudden he's into Axel.
Maybe he learned the ways of Spike Spiegel.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he learned the way of, hey, you know what's attractive to women? Someone they can step on. Because you can imagine Axel has stepped on plenty of people in her time.
With her army boots?
Yeah, very much so.
You're complaining? You have strong woman there and you're complaining?
I'm not complaining. I just don't want to be stepped on by army boots. They hurt.
She can crush me with those boots.
Yeah. Well, and again, totally not related to any other characters in this franchise, which I feel that Axel is at least related to one of the cadets from Redonkul's race, or she has to be related to Sean in some way. there is no way you can't convince me that she's not related to at least one of them. So yeah, I put down for my notes here when they were doing the recap. Grandmother's footsteps. People in America would be complaining about it not being called red light, green light. You know, some people are going to be complaining about, like, what's grandmother's footsteps? Oh, it's red light, green light. Why didn't they just call it red light, green light?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But this was where we got my first what the hell, Chris, because he kills the interns in this episode.
Yeah, they're just interns. They die all the time.
So they're the red shirts, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah. But this episode is the slide human basketball challenge, where the contestants have to slide down slides and shoot themselves like basketballs into a basketball hoop. The more dangerous the slide, the better the points they get.
Except for the 4-point slide, which is off limits.
Yeah, but you know, people are going to use that slide.
Oh, crap! We almost forgot to mention Nichelle can do stunts now. She's a capable.
Yay!
Yay!
And we also got Caleb trying to make an alliance with Priya.
Yeah, because Caleb wasn't the first to be eliminated here, and it means that he really gets to stretch his stuff in this season, in this portion of like the reboot.
Some highlights for the challenge. We have Chase not participating because he wants to try to film a stunt, even though this is already being filmed because this is a reality TV show.
Yeah, it's a reality TV show, Chase. You're gonna be famous anyway, so why the hell are you filming anything? You know what? I can kind of understand why Chris wants to take away the phones from everyone now.
We also got Raj and Wayne clogging the 3-point slide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then Bowie and Julia joining them. And then after trying to go down the 2-point slide, being flung into the woods, and after buttering himself up.
Yes. Oh my God! I knew you were going to bring that up.
While bringing with him a grizzly bear. Yeah,
I mean, let's be honest. It's not just any grizzly bear; it's Scuba Bear, who was also being to a pulp by Scary Girl in season 1. I'm gonna call it's the same bear. It's the same bear all the time. Yeah. And another highlight for this episode is MK trying to undermine Chris and everyone by getting inside information by becoming the intern known as KM. Which I'm gonna say is like not very subtle in any way.
No.
She literally just puts on a mustache.
Literally. Like zero creativity there.
But I love it. I love just how uninspiring it is. But thankfully, because of this challenge and Chase not taking part, he's the reason he gets eliminated in this episode. Which, thank God, we only had to put with him for 2 episodes.
Right.
Also in this episode as well, like Tyler said, it's the start of Caleb forming an alliance with Priya, and Priya having a massive crush on Caleb. Yeah. So hey, we get the Caleb x Priya ship here.
We also and Ripper tries to impress Axel by buttering himself up to go down one of the slides.
Which, that's not going to impress anyone. Like, I mean, and also even at the end of this episode, he still has the butter over his clothes while he's eating the marshmallow. How unhygienic is that?
Very.
Especially when it went down the garbage slide.
Yeah. Okay, I know there's not really many facilities on the island, but Ripper, just go wash yourself.
Go run away. Don't ever come back.
But Axel does say that the naked guy is funny.
Ew. The naked guy greased up by butter. Ew.
Who then brings back a bear.
Yeah.
But another highlight, we got Millie shoving Damien down the 4-point slide for the win. And Damien just gets the ever-loving shit kicked out of him going down that slide.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a reason why that slide was off limits.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
This event will also play into the next episode, but in this episode, Chase gets the boot for doing nothing.
Yay! Celebrate good times. Come on.
I mean,
So-
he did something. He stood there and tried to do a really cool intro for the whole fucking episode.
Yeah. And I mean, he did some good. At least he didn't piss off anyone except his team.
Like, the fact that he didn't just get kicked down the slide depressed me a little bit.
Yeah, he really should have gone and kicked down that slide. But yeah, moving on to episode 3, which is the Stuck on You episode, where everyone gets stuck together by this sap.
Yep, and they have to make it from one end of the island to the other while covered in tree sap.
Which, how strong would tree sap have to be to stick two people together?
I don't know, but pretty damn strong. Also in this episode, Damien is holding a grudge against Millie for pushing it down the 4-point slide, comparing it to like how Ripper used Priya as a human shield, even calling Millie a Ripper.
Oh!
So
Yeah.
question, is Millie a Ripper?
Yeah, considering she's got intel on everyone and could use that to be like this annoying bitch. But also as well with this episode, MK. Oh, I'm sorry, KM. Finds out about the sap removal and plans on stealing it. Which is, it's just a blow dryer, isn't it?
No. It's a bunch of sap remover, which she hides in the middle of the forest, away from either path to. Which she hides away from either path to the other end of the island.
Oh, okay.
And you got Raj and Wayne, who are very against this because it's cheating.
Which it is. It really is. I mean, she's cheating anyway by trying to be an intern, and I am honestly surprised Chris cannot see through that disguise.
Maybe he knows it all along. He's just playing along.
Maybe. But yeah, that mustache is just not very effective.
Not at all.
Yeah. And this episode really just showcases Caleb's strength, because not only does he get stuck to a tree branch on his neck, but not a tree branch, a tree stump, mind you, on his neck, but he also carries like about half the contestants. Like,
yeah, he carries Priya, Emma, later Axel, and then later Millie and Damien.
yeah, so like 1, one, two, three, four, five contestants plus plus this giant tree log on his neck. That is some serious strength there.
No, seriously, like holy shit.
Yeah. And Millie herself is not a skinny character. She's like, I would say after Axel, like one of the more try to say this without being rude.
One of the more rotund characters.
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
Go ahead, cancel me.
Yeah, cancel both of us. But also as well, Emma as well is covered in bird feathers during this as well. And another highlight for this episode is Axel and Ripper bums stuck together. Which I've got to say is probably one of the funnier images.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they're in the confessional together.
Oh, goodness gracious.
However, though Caleb's strength is impressive, he ultimately comes up short because Team Skunk don't win.
Yeah. Even though Caleb should have won that challenge just for his sheer determination alone.
And this leads to Chef questioning if Caleb has skipped leg day.
Dun, dun, dun!
Which apparently he only did because the gym was closed because of Christmas.
Which, fair enough.
No, you don't skip leg day. You cannot skip leg day. That is like bodybuilder crime 101. Like,
not
gym
even
bros everywhere are crying, like, cancel this man for
not even if it's like really logical that it did that because hey, the gym's closed, it's Christmas Day.
Nope.
What?
You find a way to do leg day.
But
that is as toxic masculinity as I'm going to get in this video.
Fair enough. But yeah, because of what Millie has done for the past few episodes, she is eliminated.
She should have read the training binder she got from Priya.
Yes, she should have read the training binder she got from Priya if she was truly Priya's best BFF.
Not to prove that she's really Priya's BFF, just because she probably would have lasted longer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
But episode 4, we have a pretty interesting challenge here.
Yeah, it's a what would you rather? But instead of it being in anything safe, it's on a bridge over a pool of piranhas, isn't it?
Wolverines.
And it is quite interesting, like, because we were playing along with it as well. Which is probably like the only challenge you can actually play along as part of, as you're watching it.
Yeah. And during that challenge, we learned that Damien would rather go wipe free for a week than camp out at a graveyard.
Yeah, and there was one other one that says you would either go without showering for a whole month, or
eat a bowl of toenail clippings.
And I was the one who was like, I would rather go without showering for a month, and you two like gave me some heat for that.
I mean, like, I get that you could do a bath, but then you're just marinating in your own filth soup for fucking a month. Like,
but still, again, would
You're
you
still
rather?
smelling better than if you didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's and again, this is compared to eating a jar of toenail clippings. Like, can you imagine it? Like, because he doesn't say whose toenail clippings they are.
That's fair, but also, like, I think that would be the better option here.
No,
I
Bex.
also have a foot fetish, so it doesn't bother me.
Well, yeah.
It's a best of two evils.
I would rather go with right. What's the one that's not going to cause me damage to my system? So it's like I could either bathe for a month in a bath. Yes, it's not. It's not as good as the show. But then again, it's better than like literally having my whole throat ripped out by eating a bowl of toenail clippings. Ugh. Just thinking about that's making me gross.
We also,
But yeah, with the whole thing about Damien going without a week without toilet paper, he gives like probably the best reason for it, because he can wash his butt, which fair enough, that is fair. You can do that.
Like bidets exist. Like you can even get a handheld bidet now. Like it's nothing. You got baby wipes. You got all these options for your ass.
yeah. But because you don't want to get haunted, like, dude, you don't have to worry about getting haunted. I've known people.
Actually, here's the thing with Damien. He's probably having flashbacks to Scary Girl.
I guess fair enough, but like, I don't know. Camping out in a graveyard sounds like fun. Sounds like, I can bring my buddies along. We can make a camp. We can make a day out of it. Like, I've known people who fucked in graveyards. I could laugh.
Ew.
You're in the call with one of them.
TMI. I don't think I ever wanted that mental image. Now, thanks a lot. I never thought there's like a list of things that I really wish I never knew now, and that is one of them. Going on it, that I now know someone who has fucked in a graveyard.
I could have swore I told the story in a video before.
We've done so many videos that I probably forgot.
That's fair.
We also learned that Raj would rather fight 100 rabid kittens than fight a bear.
No, I'll fight the bear.
I'd fight.
No, I'm not getting rabies. No.
I'd probably fight the bear because they're kittens.
It's not even the fact that it's kittens. It's the fact that they're rabid.
Fair enough.
Terrified of rabies.
Plus, they never said we had to win.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Bowie would rather not have any private messages remembered, which fair enough.
No, I totally understand that one.
Yeah.
Priya would rather get the Nina Tucker treatment with a warthog than have Chris McClane as a father.
Which, to be fair, no one wants Chris McClane as that. Well, maybe Sierra will probably want Chris McClane as her dad.
Chris.
Oh my god. She would probably get Chris as her dad if her mother was just as psychotic as her.
Well, she said, even Sierra said that Chris was a jerk.
Yeah, but she said that her mama has a crush on Chris, so you can imagine her mum will probably go out of her way to be like, "How can I get myself to marry this guy and make it her
Who
stay?"
said that isn't our dad? There's no
You know
guarantee
what?
that Chris hasn't fucked one of the parents.
You know what? I can imagine that he probably has. Now that you've said that, if he has, it would explain so much.
Uh,
But there was also one line that I put down from Chris when Scary Girl pops up on the screen. I miss that weirdo. We all do. We all do.
what are some other member? Millie would rather wrestle her best friend's grandpa than eat 200 lemons. Which, hey, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure we haven't met Priya's grandfather, but if they're anything like her parents,
Yeah. Which by the way, is it just like the raw lemons, or can you make them into can you make them into a lemon meringue pie?
you have to eat 200 lemons.
Oh.
It's
Lemons
either
are
that or okay. You don't have to worry about wrestling my grandfather. He's dead.
yeah, and you wouldn't have to worry about wrestling either of my grandfathers because they're both dead as well.
Same.
But here's the thing:
wrestle a jar of ashes? Go ahead.
no, I don't think any of us would want to do that. I feel like how it depends how long you have to wrestle with them, because if they just grabbed you, you fall on the ground and say, I tap out, would that count?
I mean, you did wrestle your best friend's grandpa, so they never said you had to win. So
Yeah. But one of the major highlights of this episode is Ripper finally getting together with Axel by using a pretty nice poem. To be fair, credit where credit is due on Ripper. That was a very nice poem of his.
You're giving him credit for something.
Yeah, I am. Well, I've given Chris credit for things in the past, so I've got to give it to Ripper as well. Chase is the only one that doesn't get it because he is just toxic in every sense of the word.
That's fair. Honestly, that's fair.
But yeah, really, really interesting episode we have here. Probably one of the best ones so far.
Yeah. I'll give that.
Yeah, so moving on to episode 5. I didn't say who gets eliminated. Emma gets eliminated in this episode because
she keeps giving all her team giving
the
her team the wrong answers.
The wrong answers, even though she thinks she's better than that. But yeah, episode 5. aka the iceberg challenge, not the ice bucket challenge, the iceberg challenge.
Basically, there were two paths into an iceberg. There's a maze which the skunk butts go down, or an obstacle course where the rat faces go down.
Which one would you have taken?
Probably the maze.
Yeah. I would have said the maze as well.
I probably would have done better in the obstacle course, but I don't want to risk going in an obstacle course in iceberg.
Yeah. Especially if you have feet as slippery as some video games do.
But they also use MK and Julia also use this opportunity to cheat again, which I forgot to mention. They managed to cheat in the bridge challenge by MK going to figure out all the answers, and then and then using hot sign to tell them back to Bowie.
Yep, they still are cheating again because part of the challenge is getting the items from the icebergs that are in the maze obstacle, and the way they do it is by melting the ice with Chris's hair dryer.
And because his hairdryer went missing, poor old Chris got a bad hair day.
Poor old Chris got a bad hair day. No, no, he didn't. He got exactly what he deserves.
Mm-hmm. Real. Like, Chris deserves the worst.
He really does. He really does. So some of his hairstyles are essentially bad hair, an afro preem, and hair being spiked up really spiky.
Mm-hmm.
Which have you when the first time you see Chris's hair as like the bad hair, have you guys ever had that?
I wake up with it.
Same here.
Yeah, it's the reason why I get my hair cut short, because not only do I prefer short hair, I really hate it when the hair gets really out of control like that.
I like both of us having long hair, both Tyler and I, like this is a daily occurrence to both of us. The curse of like long hair in my style is like it gets fucking tangled like that too.
Yeah,
so it takes like 10 minutes of brushing that shit out every fucking morning.
Yeah. And also as well, I don't know if you have this problem, but every time I have like longish hair, it just feels like you whenever you try to go to sleep on your pillows, it makes you feel like it makes you feel sweaty. I don't know if you have that problem.
A little bit, yeah. But like here at least, like my room's already a fucking oven, so I'm just used to it. Even if I have like 2 fans going, that shit's still like 75 degrees.
Fair enough. But yeah, I do prefer short hair. Plus, as well, it looks better with me. I do look better with short hair.
Fair.
But yeah, anyway, back to the challenge. Honestly, I didn't really put many notes for this. I put down iceberg challenge, major obstacle course, and Julie being a sly fox and getting the shell fake eliminated. Because the way Julia gets Nichelle eliminated in this episode is the fact that she made a contract for Nichelle to star in 3 blockbuster movies that were worth more than $1 million. Which I gotta say is a really effective way of getting rid of someone.
Yeah, it is.
So, did you have any more notes? Anything else to say about this episode, Tyler?
We get to see the Hockey Bros and Bowie team up against Julia, MK, and Ripper in a snowball fight. And this is also where Z learns about Priya's crush on Caleb after thinking Priya was being attacked by a killer pillow.
Oh, lordy.
And
then thinking that he killed Priya's pillow boyfriend.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I forgot about that. That is probably the funniest scene moment in the whole series. I killed Priya's pillow boyfriend.
Not the pillow boyfriend.
But Z drinks so much soda, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be taking multiple leaks all throughout the night.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He's probably going to
Just
be on that.
stay in that outhouse for the night. Honestly,
Yeah, he probably would stay. He'd probably fall asleep on the toilet. But then again, would he ever sleep if he's drinking that much caffeine?
there's a caffeine crash. I don't know if you know this. Like, if you drink too much, you end up crashing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all we have to say on the episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Moving on to episode 6, where it's the merge.
The merge halfway through the season again.
Yep, this time we're merging with 11 instead of 10.
Well, to be fair, 2 of them didn't get carted out this time.
Yeah, they
Fair
didn't. So with the challenge for this episode is that it's basically Jewel from the TV show Gladiators, where except they're doing it on canoes. So they have teams of 2, and they're all fighting with pugil sticks on canoes.
Yep. Not before. Only after they carry their canoes to the lake. Though MK has to carry hers alone because Chris found out about the cheating, or decided to do something about the cheating.
Yeah, I guess it was probably because he was more pissed off about his hairdryer getting stolen than anything.
Yep. Once we see Raj teaming up with Bowie, Damien teaming up with Z. Oh, we forgot to mention Ripper and Axel got together in episode 4.
No, I think we brought that up with the poem. Yeah, I did bring that up with the poem.
Oh, they were playing tonsil hockey in episode 5. Ripper and Axel teamed up, which means we also got Priya and Caleb teaming up, as well as Wayne and Julia.
Yeah, but also someone is on their own, and which means they have to fight the bear. They have to fight Scuba Bear.
Yep. MK is left to fight a bear while everyone else fights who they were teamed up with. Wayne forgets his cup and gets hit in the groin. Priya and Caleb take each other out.
And MK gets taken out by the bear. And so Chris is like, "Okay, bear, you're done for now."
And the bear's all,
Yeah. Why is it that so many of these like mutated animals are some of like the most expressive in this series?
Because like they've had time to flourish.
yeah, like they've been working with the same bear design for the past 16 years.
Honestly.
They know the ins and outs of this fucking bear.
It's the same way like models for The Simpsons become more expressive as the seasons go on because they're so used to using that same model.
Fair enough.
It's we also see Z trying to end the match by jumping down on the canoe, only for it to backfire on him.
Yep, because he didn't plan that far ahead.
Yep. And then we also got Bowie taking out Raj quick and painlessly. Same thing with Axel with Ripper.
Yeah, because we don't want to fight our significant other.
Though I do like the confessional after Axel takes out Ripper, being like, you know what happens when couples fight? They make up.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Yeah, after Ripper's just like, I can't believe you did that.
So now we got Damien going up against Julia, Bowie going up against Axel. Bowie beats Axel by distracting her with ideal of Ripper giving mouth to mouth to a raccoon.
Why would she even believe that?
And then Julia hits herself in the face and falls off the canoe.
Yeah. So it comes down to Damien versus Bowie. Oh, my two favorite characters going head to head. I don't know which to choose.
And now, this time, they're riding horses on jet skis.
Which is like, how is that like the most impractical but awesome thing ever?
Not jet skis. They're just regular skis, but they're being pulled by speedboats.
Yeah, by speedboats.
And surprisingly, Damien wins.
Yeah, we got a win for the guy who hadn't heard of the show until last season.
Unfortunately, this means Bowie goes home.
Aww. Poor
Honestly,
Bowie.
as much as it's sad to see him go, I'm happy with Bowie's placement in terms of like the out of universe like elimination order. Like, I think this is the right time for Bowie to go.
Yeah.
Anyways,
There really
on
wasn't
to
much left that
episode.
could be done for
Yeah.
Bowie.
Yeah, there really was, but I mean, he got together with Raj, so really, there's not much more you can do with him after that.
And Raj gives him a tissue that he blew his nose into.
Yep. But now, moving on to episode 7, which is where we get the first cameo of this season. We have Owen.
Who should be in his 30s, but looks like he hasn't aged a day.
Yep. And the reason why Owen is here is because it's a cake challenge, so they need him to be a judge for this. And I do like Priya's confessional about him returning and being like, I've watched all his moves and everything, but I still can't figure out how he actually won. Yeah.
He
And
won by having the biggest ass.
yeah, by having the biggest ass and having the biggest heart and the biggest stomach and the biggest everything.
Yeah.
But also in this episode, Damien finds the immunity statue and and tries everything in his power to hide it, and we get MKX Julia, I guess.
Yeah. And this ship was going ever since they first teamed up. It's only after episode 7 did M. Cooley really take off.
Fair enough. But we have to know, what has Owen been doing for the past 15 years? Well, he took a nap, and he returned a library book that was in his stomach. Okay, moving on. Yep, that's all you need to know about Owen.
So the teams get split off into 3 groups. We have Priya, Caleb, Damien, and Z. MK with Axel and Ripper, and Julia teaming up with the Hockey Bros, who
hate Julia first for being for eliminating for getting Bowie eliminated, until they realize, like, wait, they're on our team now, so we should be supportive of her. Julia, but they still beat her up anyway.
Yeah,
She deserves it, honestly.
Honestly, yeah. And they, in order to get the ingredients for their cake, they have to go to I guess it's the pirate ship from season 1, just like really badly damaged.
Yeah, it's called the Barge, which I don't know what a barge is, but
it's a small kind of boat.
Oh. Well, they go to the Barge to collect their ingredients for the cake. And it's here where we get some of the funniest moments. We got
We get a literal "This is Sparta" reference.
We got Damien shouting, "Battle cry!"
Yeah, and also
Wayne shouting "Battle cry."
yeah, battle cry. But we also have Damien getting a trident from somewhere that even Chris is like, where did he get that trident from?
Probably from the barge, considering the Hockey Bros found a bow and arrow.
Yeah, I guess. But also as well, we have Damien stealing one of my lines. Let's bounce. It's like I always say that, Damien. Don't be stealing my my thunder.
We also because unfortunately for Julia, because Raj and Wayne, the only things the Hockey Pros got from the barge were a bow and arrow, she's left with the raw ingredients.
Ooh.
So that means she's gonna have to till the wheat and sugar by hand,
which she deserves. She deserves to do all the work.
Yep.
We also got the fact that that Raj and Wayne also wasted all the milk and eggs.
Which you would think that she would be like, don't waste all the milk and eggs.
But
no.
Raj and Wayne wasted trying to play baseball.
Because they're both... it's a shame because without Bowie there, Raj just digresses into, I'm just a sports mad person. Even though he made it perfectly clear that he figured out that there was more to life than sports.
Yeah. But we also got Ripper and Axel not being of any help to MK because they're too busy making out.
Yes, which means that, and also it leads to probably the most disgusting thing that happens in this episode, because they run out of yeast. They have to do natural yeast from Ripper's armpit.
Oh God!
And I literally put, no one deserves that, not even my arch enemy Chris McLean.
I picked the wrong time to eat.
Yeah, you did. You really did.
One of the scenes that stood out in my mind were where Ripper and Axel were like trying to make like a pot with the molding chocolate, and then he started making out.
Yep. Yeah. So the cakes, everyone pretty much decides they've got to make Chris McLean cakes, essentially.
Yep. Julia's is pretty photogenic. MK's is a disaster because she forgot to grease her pans and a bunch of other shit. But they made for Priya's team, they made her look pretty. They made Chris look pretty muscular and how Chris views himself.
Yeah. Which does that mean Chris? I don't know. Like what kind of like internet like persona would you describe Chris? Would you describe him as like? Because I was gonna say incel, but he's not really an incel.
No, he's not. He's a self-absorbed sociopath who doesn't care about anybody but himself.
That fits.
Yeah.
What
fits? That fits Chris perfectly.
So I guess I don't know, Vex, who's the sociopathic content creator who cares about nobody but themselves?
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast.
There we go. There we go. Perfect. Chris is Mr. Beast then. Yeah.
It's proven by the fact he didn't even pay minimum wage to people on the Amazon show.
Oh my god. Wow. So yeah, with this episode we have the only double elimination in the reboot with Axel and Ripper.
Yep, because Ripper doesn't want to stay away from Axel, and Axel got the boot because she was too much of a physical threat.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty decent episode. I mean, despite Owen being back, it could have very easily just become the Owen episode, but thankfully he didn't steal the spotlight. He was just there for what he needs to be there for, and he did what he needed to do.
And he got to take home a cake version of Chef.
Yeah, which he thought was the real chef. That just sums up Owen perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So moving on to episode 8, which is the human pinball episode.
Yep. We see. Well, firstly, Z starting to crack. He's worried he's gonna spill out the fact that Caleb is not really interested in Priya. He only wants an alliance. Meanwhile, Priya has a crush on Caleb, and he doesn't want to spill the beans, so he tries to solve this by putting his pants in his mouth.
Yeah.
If you keep talking, I gotta go real quick.
Okay. Or by just drinking all the time.
God.
Which see, that is like not the most. That is like the most impractical thing you can think
Right.
of. And also as well, this is where we have Julia manipulating C, which, to be fair, that should be like that really should be a walk in the park for her, because it's C. He is like
Right.
he is on the verge of just like blurting everything out at this point.
He's like ready to break, and it's not even not obvious. They're like, what's going on here, essentially? And like everybody can see there's something, bugging him, but nobody really wants to kind of dive into it because this is Whole Drum Island. It could just be like people cracking under the pressure.
Yeah. So anyway, the challenge itself basically involves the team going up a mountain with a giant coin and essentially using themselves as like human pinballs, which I don't know why, but if this wasn't Total Drama, that'd probably be a lot of fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is where we get, as well, in this episode, more cameos, because we get, they don't make physical appearances, but we have, like, cutouts of Courtney and Duncan, who Priya calls, like, the original Total Drama couple. And we also have Izzy here as well. And also Scary Girl Step on Me figure.
Mm-hmm.
which I always love that, just to bring up like Scary Girl Step on Me figure. But there is one interesting thing that comes out of this episode, which is something Chris did one time that is never mentioned, that Chris doesn't want to mention. So I have got like I thought about this, like what would be the one thing that Chris did one time that he never want to mention, and I did put this as like a Chris backstory. Thanks. Do you want to hear it?
Go for it.
He got drunk one night and signed up to have his kidney donated to a kid, and now that's the reason why he hates kids. Because it basically stopped him from being able to. A kid took a part of his lifespan essentially by donating a kidney.
That's fair. I think he had a gay experience with Chef, and he feels guilt because he actually enjoyed that.
But wouldn't that like make? I don't know. I don't know. I
Out of
don't know.
all the things that Chris is, I can also see him being a little bit homophobic, like internalized homophobia.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring it. I wasn't gonna bring it up because I didn't know how it would come across, and I didn't want to offend you in any way. But yeah. So yeah, we have C being eliminated in this episode, which again is a perfectly good point for him to go at this point, because he any more moment that he would have stayed, his brain probably would have just like exploded full of soda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, even though I feel ashamed that he goes, I feel like it's for the best.
Yeah, this is a good time for him to leave.
Yeah. So is Tyler back yet?
Nope, he's still muted.
Nope, still muted. So we'll come back to Tyler about this episode, and I'll put there, and I'll let him give his thoughts for episode 8. But yeah, so episode 9, which is fair because we are how many hours have we done now? We've done
3.
over 3 hours. Oh, and Alicia, I didn't realize you were still here, Alicia. That's a funny theory. Which theory do you think is funny? The Chris giving a kidney to a kid, or him having a gay relationship with Chef? I honestly want to know which one you find the funniest.
Oh yeah, like that would be funny to see, like which one got the reaction.
Yeah. So yeah, episode 9, which is honestly even though I don't have a lot to say about it, is probably one of the most simpler episodes, I feel, because all it is just like, you've got this one item, but you've got to get it through this small, tiny hole by any means necessary. Mm-hmm. So Caleb uses one of Chris's yachts, which you think Chris would be like really annoyed by that, but nope, it's the yacht that he hates the most.
And the fact that he has so many yachts that he has one he hates the most makes me hate him more.
Yeah, which begs the question of, like, if he hates it so much, why does he still have it around?
For tax purposes, probably.
Probably.
The relationship with Chef is the one that she like. Thank you. That was like a hilarious thought in the back of my head.
Oh, dang, that's a toughie. I'll go with the gay relationship with Chef. Fair enough. But I like to think that because Chris had to have had something happen in his past that made him like just despise kids.
Have you had to deal with a kid on an airplane, Luke? I get it.
Oh no! You want to know how to get someone to despise kids. And remember when Duncan destroyed Chris's mansion, and Chris found it in it to like, right, I'm gonna get you arrested, Duncan. Mm-hmm. And yet his yacht is getting attacked by Caleb. Here's Money's favorite yacht.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you want to know like how to despise kids. Try this. You set up a table in a store. You're like, right, that's all set up for the night. A kid comes along, pulls something out. You gotta start it all over again.
Yeah, working retail also makes you hate kids.
Yeah, because you just think like, come on, please. And I don't know why some parents have the kids out at like 8 o'clock on a school night. But I digress. So yeah, we have Caleb using Chris's yacht, and he has to break it into little pieces. And he's so strong that he just punches them. Like, who does Caleb think he is? Saitama?
Must be.
Yeah. Or I guess he didn't skip leg day, or well, you wouldn't really call it leg day, more like arm day.
Yeah. He did a lot of reps that day.
Yeah.
Like he was ready.
Yeah. So one of the other ones was what were the other ones? Trying to remember now. That was it. That was it. One of them, I believe, was Chef's car.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I
Oh
returned.
yeah. Oh, good. You're back. You're back. So we did episode 8 when we were talking about the human pinball episode. So if you had anything you wanted to say on that, because I was telling Fex about what I thought Chris's back, what Chris did that one time was, and Fex had an interesting thing to say.
Sad to see Z go. I'm satisfied with the placement he left.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we said as well. But so what Fex said about what Chris did that one time was have a gay relationship with Chef. Yeah. But yeah, so I was just saying about episode 9 about how Caleb is so strong that he punches Chris's yacht. It's like, how strong would he have to be?
Pretty damn strong.
Yeah. But wasn't one of the other items that was went through the tiny door in this episode, Chef's car?
Yeah, Chef's car, a tree, a boat.
That was it.
A fridge, a sheep named Chester, the outhouse.
Oh yeah, the sheep named Chester and the outhouse. Like, how did they ever think that using the outhouse was a good idea?
I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah, fair enough. And also as well because of C Blake giving away everything in the last episode, Priya is mightily pissed off at Caleb.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Priya mined rock with Caleb's face.
Which you'd figure she would use that to go through the door.
Probably.
Yeah.
But she just crushed it into little itty bitty pieces.
Yep. The person and Caleb is just so goddamn strong that he's the one that actually wins the challenge by getting all the pieces of the yacht through the door. Which, hey, he has those muscles for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if you saw in the comments, Tyler, but Alicia brought up a really good point here. So Duncan destroyed Chris's mansion, that got him arrested, but Chris's yacht, yeah, no, I don't care. You'd figure Chris would be more caring about his yacht.
He did say it was the smallest and least favorite yacht, though.
Yeah, but that makes us hate him even more that he has so many yachts that he has to have one that is small and his least favorite. So yeah, and
it's giving billionaire vibes.
Yeah. Oh, Chris has to be a billionaire.
Probably.
Yeah. But
whole drama as a show is famous all across the world.
Yeah. But this episode, the one that gets voted off is MK.
Yep, because while MK was spreading all sorts of lies about Julia, from spreading her favorite yogurt flavor all over Damien's bed, to saying Julia's dad's the president, to cancel the hockey season. Meanwhile, Julia said that they just made a pact to not badmouth each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, as well with this episode, because I'm on the trivia for the wiki here, several scenes from the BBC airing were censored. So there was a scene that showed MK holding a red bottle of gas that Chef's car burns. and then there was a scene after the fridge crushes Raj. It has his hand sticking out of it while he's crawling around under it. And in one of Julia's confessionals, it has Julia sliding her finger on her axe, but it zooms completely up to her face. However, later in the BBC version, it shows her doing that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So not really. So I don't know why they cut them. I guess maybe to tone it down for the broadcasting.
But there wasn't really much going on.
Yeah, not really much going on with this episode. It's just a case of we've got to get this item through this door somehow. Yeah. So, yeah, moving on to episode 10, Circling the Drain.
And this... go ahead.
Yeah, which I've got to say, this is where Julia being Heather really comes to fruition, because she basically throughout this episode starts manipulating both Caleb and Priya.
We also see that we also see Damien trying to hide the idol again.
Yeah, which begs the question of why doesn't he just keep it on his person at all times?
Because it could fall out of his pocket and the surprise could be completely ruined.
Fair enough. Good point.
Unless he's got like zipper pockets, but even then, the idol's not exactly easy to hide.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, it's pretty easy for a crisp bobblehead to stick out of your pockets.
Yeah, fair enough. So with this episode, it has it's basically a danger-filled memory game.
Yep. For if you guess wrong, you have to face a punishment based on the character you actually selected.
Yeah, so it's basically like one of those like match the player where they are on the screen games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and literally it's Damien who surprisingly does well, but Julia thinks he's cheating, even though. Was he really cheating?
No.
It just happened to be a coincidence that he was getting them all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, we've seen so many actual instances of cheating, and this was the one that they were like, oh, you're actually cheating.
When he really wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And even when Ripper's gone, his thoughts are still making everyone suffer.
Mm-hmm. We see people get crushed by Scary Girl's skull.
Which hey, I don't think you'd mind that, Fex.
Nope. Nope. Crush me, please. Take me off this mortal coil. Like...
we see Damien gets eliminated by bees.
Yep. Yes, he does.
I would just fucking die here.
Well, actually, here's the thing. If Damien was my brother, he would die.
No,
you know
like bee allergy.
Yeah.
Same.
Are you allergic to bee stings?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, well,
I don't trust Chris to have an EpiPen floating around that island.
Yeah. No, the only one who would have the EpiPen would be Sierra, but she'll stick it in like the worst awful place. But
oh, here you go, and it's just stabbing me in the eye. I come out looking like fucking Majima from fucking Yakuza here. Yeah.
But anyway, wow, that's something you and my brother have in common, Fex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is fun. It's funny. Okay. okay, you would think that this was me doing a Chris McClane moment here, but a couple of weeks ago, a wasp got into our house, and I was saying to him, "There's a wasp in our house. There's a wasp in our house." And he was like, "No, it's a fly. It's a fly. It's a fly." I managed to kill the wasp,
Mhm.
and I take it to him, show him, and he's like, "Oh, get it away from me!"
Get away! Absolutely!
Literally like that, and I was like, "It's dead." It's like, I don't care, get it away from me.
I keep a can of spray deodorant and a lighter by my bed because we have really bad wasps here. I'm like, I'm gonna make sure you're fucking dead.
Yeah, I made sure the wasp was dead because I'm not like psychotic to be like, I'm gonna take this wasp while it's alive to my brother with this allergy.
Just making it twitch there, like, torture it. Fucking sociopath vibes while you're just torturing your brother too. Yeah, no.
Right.
No, like my ex actually brought a still partially alive one. Like, it won't fucking die. Kill it. I'm like, get that the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
Take it in the kitchen and stab it.
Yeah. So throughout this whole challenge, we have Damien get. I feel like this challenge is where Damien gets like his most competitive.
Yep.
Yeah. Because he's like, I'm not cheating. Yes, you are. Right then, in that case. And it really does come down to like Damien versus Julia battling each other.
Yeah. Well, until Damien gets eliminated by the bees.
Yep, until he gets eliminated by the bees.
And Raj and Wayne just have the worst memories.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense because C's not here, so somebody has to be like the dumb one.
And the punching bag.
And the punching bag, yeah. But yeah, so Damien goes at this point because even though he thought he had the immunity statue, he lost it.
AKA
Which-
Julia stole it.
Yeah, Julia stole
Off
it.
screen.
Which I feel like was just like a way, because I feel like a lot of people were expecting Damien to win this season.
A lot of yes. I remember while this season was airing, like people were like, "Oh, Damien is gonna go all the way," but no.
Which, hey, we've got season 3. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he wins season 3.
Nah, not happening. We
I
can't
am-
have nice things with Chris.
Oh yeah, good point. We can't have nice things with Chris. So,
But anyways, we still have episode 11, K9 to 5.
yeah, which had probably the most surprising cameo that I was not expecting.
Yeah, this one actually got me too. I'm like, what? They're bringing her back?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, we have MacArthur from the Redonkulous race, who actually won the Redonkulous race, or well, no, in one of the alternate endings, it was actually, was it? It was the Surface that won, like canonically, wasn't it?
Never stated if there's a canonical winner.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
the winner is whoever you want it to be.
I mean, if she did win, I think Chris would have sort of she would have probably brought it up, which would have been like, if she did win it, would have been like a really good joke to have done with this. Like, yeah, I was part of one of these series as well, and I won it. Hey, the host kind of sounded like you, Chris. No, he doesn't sound completely like me. That would have been such a good joke to do.
Would have been an interesting joke.
Yeah. So yeah, and MacArthur is still the same as she was in Redonkulous race, except now she's a drill sergeant type person with dogs ready to pounce on everyone.
Yep. So this challenge is basically got to run away before the dogs can catch you. If a dog catches you 3 times, you are out.
So it's basic. Oh, I was gonna say. So it's basically cat and mouse, except with dogs and the contestants.
Yep. We got Caleb pushing Priya off of a cliff while they're trying to patch things up from episode 10 because Julia gave Caleb immunity. So now Priya thinks Caleb and Julia are in cahoots.
Mm-hmm. And also, one of my highlights was just seeing the dogs operating a jet ski. How is that possible?
We also see Julia covering Priya in bacon grease and unleashing the most deadly weapon of all, a chew toy.
Yes. Yeah. That, especially when you've been doused in grease.
We also see Raj making. We see Raj and Wayne eating their socks
To kind of throw, because it was to kind of throw off their scent, wasn't it?
Yeah, proves to not work.
Yeah, it did not work.
And apparently, it was the second time they ate their socks for nothing.
Right, what would be the first? That was the question we all had. Like, what would be the first time?
Why would you ever need to eat your socks?
If you were stranded on a deserted island, you had nothing to eat.
Like, would the fibers in the socks even count as sustenance? Like, would it fill your stomach? Like, I have so many questions from that line.
Yeah, I mean, I get. I mean, if you, I was just thinking, like, as well, because if your socks were sweaty enough, I mean, it's not ideal to do this, but technically you could probably drink your sweat.
I think I'd sooner drink my own piss than my own sweat.
Funny you should say that, Fex, because I'm doing a show at the moment where my character, because it's about because my whole part is about surviving in the desert, and one of the parts involves my character having to drink their own piss. Now, obviously, it's not going to be piss; it's going to probably be apple juice.
I was going to say, did the writer just put in their piss kink?
No. But it's all part.
Bear Grylls.
Well, that's the whole point. It's supposed to be like survival training in harsh environments. That's the whole idea behind the show. But one of the highlight that I want to take away from this episode is just the names of the dogs. So we have Edward Scissormouth, obviously a reference to Edward Scissorhands, Bear Trap, Chainsaw, which if that was the case, I would have gone with Denji, Blood Hunter, and Booger.
Booger.
Yeah, which is chasing Chase. And it's kind of ironic because Booger is the smallest of the dogs, while I meant Caleb, while Caleb is the largest of the remaining contestants. That's funny. I'm being chased by this small animal, but you're the tallest of the contestants. Oh, shut up. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, by the end of the episode, Raj is the one to be eliminated. So it means now we're gonna have Wayne without Raj.
Yep.
So yeah, did you have anything else you wanted to say about the episode?
Dog.
Woof! Woof, woof, woof. Oh, does Fex want to go for walkies? Walkies? It's funny that I mentioned Chainsaw Man there, and we had episodes with dogs. I had to bring up that skit. So yeah, episode 12, the penultimate episode of the reboot so far. So yeah, based on this episode, it's kind of obvious who's going home because Priya won the last season. There's no way she's going to make the final.
Yeah, which is honestly a giant blemish on this elimination order is that Priya didn't leave sooner.
Mhm.
Honestly, if Priya left where Damien did, it'd be much better.
Yeah. So this all changes about the contestants facing their worst fears. So they so Caleb's worst fear is clown snakes.
Well, snakes and clowns, but they merged them into one.
Yeah. But I said clown snakes. I mean, that would be like the ultimate fear for someone. Quite interesting as well. Again, reference to Chainsaw Man. Julia fears aging, so she'd be susceptible to the aging devil.
Yeah, no, like, and I get the fear of aging on a mental issue side of things. Like, the cognitive decline is terrifying, but like the act of aging itself really isn't.
No. It's more a case of like for some, I don't fear aging. I fear like will I lose memory?
That's exactly it. Like I'm terrified of that side of it.
Yeah. Priya, what was Priya's biggest fear again?
I don't remember Priya's. Tyler, do you?
Oh, what's up?
What was Priya's biggest fear?
Thunder and lightning.
Oh, right, yeah. Which that's a kind of bog standard fear. But the funniest but most obvious fear for me was Wayne's fear, because it's like, okay, what would be like the most obvious, but at the same time make perfect sense for Wayne? Having to fight Raj on opposing hockey teams. Yeah, so that was like, oh my god, I could see that coming a mile off, but I still loved it. Yeah, and also as well, one of the other notes that I had for this episode was well, granted, Julia was going to get eliminated here, but she smartly used the immunity statue to throw Priya off. So yeah, that was smart of her to save it to that point. But one other note that I had for this episode was that it's bullshit of Chris to say that he hasn't worked on his de-aging. He has obviously taken so much Botox that it's scary.
He's literally like walking botulism.
Yeah. But honestly, don't really have much to say about this episode.
Not really a lot to talk about.
Yeah, Priya go home, gone. Finale time!
Finale time! Woo! Sore losers. Which I love the double meaning behind that.
Yeah.
Considering that they're all soaring through the sky, and in the end, two of them are going to be losers. I mean, winners. Yeah, winners. But yeah, so again, the whole episode is split up into 3 sections of a challenge. So first is race to a hilltop, then a tightrope ride, and then eagle riding to the dock of shame. And one of the highlights from the finale is Scary Kill with T-shirt cannon.
Yes.
So, we also have all of the previous contestants back to cheer on their favorite finalists. The only one cheering on for Julia is MK. Meanwhile, we got Priya, Millie, Damien, Emma, and Nichelle rooting for Caleb. And we got Ripper, Axel, Chase, Raj, Bowie, and Z rooting for Wayne.
And then you have Scary Girl, who doesn't care as long as she gets to inflict pain.
Yeah. Well, Chris told her she couldn't be on a team because she doesn't play well with others.
Fair. But yeah, also as well, a highlight for me for the finale was Julia's hair getting attacked. Reminds me of Heather. Yeah. And people actually being surprised that Wayne Wayne actually made it this far. Like, who would have thunk it?
Yeah, no, like it's funny. Like I think out of all the finales, this might be one of the strongest. And I did not expect that out of a reboot, honestly.
Absolutely, because they've all been like really strong contestants throughout. Like even Caleb, like we said, he goes from being like the first booted off here to being one of the finalists of the second run, which is kind of surprising. You never would have expected that. But also as well, another thing that I put down explains so much. Wayne has a horseshoe in his brain.
Honestly, not the most shocking thing to come out of this.
Yeah, not the most shock, but it explains so much.
He got a horseshoe shoved so far up his ass it's touching his brain.
Yes, again, explains so much about the way he talks, the way he acts, and it would help explain like why he was why he couldn't read the signs when it was like, "Hey, Wayne, let it come naturally between Raj and Bowie."
Yeah.
But also as well, we have looks like Wayne is blasting off again. Team Rocket reference. Because he gets blasted into the air whilst wearing a flying squirrel outfit. And he actually ends up being the one to win the series. Because he's the first one that he destroys the Dock of Shame.
Yeah, they're going to need a new dock if we get a season 3.
Oh, absolutely.
They're going to need new outhouses and new docks.
Absolutely, they are going to need new outhouse. They're going to need a revamp of the island, but knowing Chris, he'll probably make it like what would Chris revamp the island into that he hasn't done already?
A theme park.
Oh my god! Please do that for season 3.
Can you imagine the torture a theme park could come from Chris motherfucking McLean, war criminal?
God. Yeah. Total drama. Roller Coaster Tycoon.
You just wanted Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yes. I mean, it's one of the best things ever. You can't blame me for wanting Roller Coaster Tycoon all the time.
No, I can't. It's your comfort game. It's like me with Kingdom Hearts.
No, not Kingdom Hearts. Your comfort game is Power Wash. It's Power Wash Simulator. That is your comfort game. I
unironically just pre-ordered the fucking Shrek DLC.
Yeah.
While we were recording this, I pre-ordered the Shrek DLC, and I hate myself for that.
Oh my god. You know what they're going to do next? At some point? One Piece DLC.
Yeah. I mean, I already have the Final Fantasy DLC, and one of those is like cleaning fucking Cloud Spike. Can you imagine cleaning the fucking Thousand?
Oh no! I've got a DLC for you from Power Wash Simulator.
No! The Hokage Mountain from Naruto.
No! Not that. Something far worse.
Oh my god!
The shopping center DLC.
No, fuck that. No. No. Yes. No. I already suffered enough cleaning the back rooms of the goddamn grocery store I worked at. Nope. No, I draw the line there. You do that, Power Wash Sim, I'm boycotting your game.
Oh god. But yeah, so Wayne has won the series and wins the next.
How insane his win was! The squirrel suit.
Yes.
Like, the fucking squirrel suit got me. I'm just sitting here, my mic muted. I'm dealing with Hades trying to climb the fucking blinds, dying of laughter.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty inventive way to win a series.
No, like, literally, dude. Like, I was shocked. Like, we've seen unhinged shit out of finales, but I think that was the craziest one. I also think the fact that we got this far with this cast and each character had, like I said at the beginning, like each character having their own growth and their own story arc instead of just like being one note shows how much the writers have evolved. Because I'm so used to like there being tropes and everything in reality shows. That's perfectly fine. But it's so rare to see personality shine through. That isn't like, oh, I'm the goody good over here, and I'm the heel. I'm playing the villain. That's usually it. These were all well fleshed out characters. I'm proud of the writers for actually, doing something with them.
Absolutely. What about you, Tyler?
What I think of the finale?
Yeah, what do you think of the finale and the cast overall?
I thought this was a pretty strong finale. I love the moment where like Caleb's helpers are like, we should shoot down Wayne to help Caleb, but it's Wayne. But we're on Caleb's team.
But it's Wayne.
Meanwhile, Wayne just gets shot at by Raj.
Yeah.
Like, that was funny. Like, Raj just like, you know what, fuck, I'm playing by the rules.
Hey, Wayner, free t-shirt.
Yes. So yeah, really strong cast for this reboot, and can't wait to see more of them when we hopefully get season 3. My question before we wrap it up would be, if they were to bring in any new characters, what personality would you like them to have?
I want a fucking full-on weeb.
Fair enough.
Full-on weeb. Like, we've had almost every other, like, 2000 stereotype, so why not that? We had a fucking wizard.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I thought about it. Like, would be the perfect stereotype. The overzealous weeb who literally, if something is completely out of place, like say for example, if Z comes back and he's not drinking the most amount of soda, that person has a hissy fit about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be a good stereotype to rip on and be like, hey, there's more to life than ripping on things in shows where the characters don't have their hairs in perfectly pruned place.
Yeah, no, like, and think about like the most stereotypical like early 2000s depiction of a weeb, like Naruto running down the hallway, talking in broken Japanese. I want that.
Yeah. The one I would want would be someone who has seen every single like show like Total Drama, but is the complete opposite of Priya. Like they suck big time when they're actually on the show.
Yeah,
like, you know the ones that are just like studying there and be like, oh, maybe if you did it that way instead of that way, or if you did it this way instead of that way, and then when they're actually in that environment, they're like, what do we do? What do we do? Which would be probably an extension on what you did then, what you said then about the overzealous weeb. I want the overzealous, confident one who thinks like, yeah, I know the show, even though I've not been on it before.
Right. Like, and everybody has that, like, I could do better mentality.
Yeah, that's the phrase. That's the one I was thinking of. The I could do better mentality person. What about you, Tyler?
Wait, what were you saying?
Like, if they were to bring in any new cast for season 3, what ones would you be? What personality would you want them to have?
I do like the idea of the overzealous weeb. I'm thinking. Honestly, I have an idea for a jerk character.
Okay.
Make him like one of those like edgy memers who like who are edgy for the sake of dark humor, but just kind of assholes.
Mm-hmm.
However, the asshole realizes, hey, I'm kind of an asshole.
That could work. That could work.
And it ends with him not necessarily like being able to complete the race in becoming a good person, but get him into a place where he can start running that race.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. But yeah, so that was the reboot. Thank you for everyone who made it this far. It was really fun to do this, and hopefully we'll be back for the for season 3 reboot, depending on how well these seasons do. But that's something we'll just have to wait and see. But until then, peace.
Peace.